Hello everyone, welcome back to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. It's me, Captain Logan, and joining me as always, or as usual, as often, this is like your 7th or 8th week.
I pop up.
We've got Chris, and we've got so much to talk about, Chris.
Yes.
Big week for new comics. New York Comic Con was over the weekend.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit in the way of new comic news. Nothing as gigantic as you might have expected. I feel like a lot of the big news for things that are happening next year that at least any of the companies are telling us about, we have already gotten. Like, I think the big announcement that we talked about last week with the Superman Spider-Man crossover was even pre-New York Comic. Well, it must have been, because we talked about it last week.
Exactly, yeah. So
you'd think they would have saved that.
You would think, yeah. Or
for
at least
that convention. That's weird.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe they're just excited.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe they had some new information about it, but not that I've heard. I don't know.
That I've seen, no.
I didn't keep up real hard with it, but I pulled up an article. We'll mention a few things. Vertigo's back.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Now, we knew they were bringing that imprint back, but we haven't really gotten word about titles, and they announced several new original indie-sounding titles with creative teams. I don't know if you've seen them.
I haven't seen the titles, no.
The Tom Taylor one looks really cool. I'm excited about that. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Right.
They're doing a new 100 Bullet sequel, so there's at least one or two things there that are properties that they've had before, but that haven't been around in a while.
Right.
But most of them are brand new titles. And then the only other big thing, and we'll talk about all of this more at length when we bring Austin in later. Yeah. The only other major thing that I heard about is Joshua Williamson coming on to Iron Man.
That'd be interesting.
That was a big announcement.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a little bit curious about that because he's done wonders for Superman.
Yeah.
Because I don't usually care about reading Iron Man solo.
Yeah.
But I might check out that first issue.
Iron Man's one of those,
at least in digital, and review it.
Yeah, Iron Man's one of those books that just really depends. Even though I grew up with the Marvel Action Hour, I loved Iron Man growing up. I read Force Works. That's how you know.
Did you really? I own like one issue of Force Works, and if memory serves, it's a Spider-Woman cover. I think she was on that team.
She was on that team. Like Scarlet Witch was too.
War Machine, maybe?
U.S. Agent.
What, really?
Yeah.
I also own the first issue of U.S. Agent.
Oh,
from that period. The only one I have. But
was that when you had like the metal gauntlets that had like the laser shields? Because that
not
was
on the cover. I don't remember.
That's why it wasn't Force Works. That's
okay. So it looks like an action figure.
It looks like an action figure. Yeah, it's awesome.
So did Rob Liefeld work on this book? No, I'm sure.
I mean,
it sounds like he should have.
His DNA was there somewhere too.
Oh, real quick before we get into books coming out tomorrow, I want to just launch into stuff because there's so much to talk about. But I did want to mention that there's a new full-on line of action figures that just came out for DC X Sonic. I don't know if you've seen these, but they're at Target. If anybody is interested in these, it's a pretty good line. They're not horribly pricey, at least compared to what McFarlane's doing. Right? McFarlane just put out, and of course they're going to lose the license soon, I guess, unless that changed. But I think they're throwing out everything DC they can. Line that looks really good.
I did see that.
It's got a Matt Shrek in it and stuff, but the price point is $35.
Really?
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean that's
like they've gone to the friggin' stratosphere.
Yeah, it's especially back in the day too. Like you pay like $5 for the first line of Batman Returns action figures too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, even for collector stuff, you've about priced me out when you get too far past $20. Yeah. It depends on what it is, but like 20 is the nice these days kind of base price point.
Yeah.
If the articulation's good, if it looks
molding, sculpting's good. Yeah.
Yeah, like especially if it's got a really nice box. I don't want to keep it in the box. Although a lot of stuff I open these days. But anyway, so there is this new Sonic line. I forget the company. It's not Jada, but it's a line, or not Jada. What is that line? I think it is that. They did like the new Batman Forever figures with the Batman wheels. It's not them, but it's a company kind of like that. That goes for like pretty good quality builds, but cheaper price points. So they've gotten. I haven't bought any of them yet, but I did get one of the pops, which I'll show you in a second. But they did do some like bigger figures that are just the Sonic characters as with the DC suits. Although they haven't done a Shadow Batman for that yet. That's the one I would. That's one of the ones I would buy.
Right.
And they've got the Knuckles, and they've got the maybe the Green Lantern, I think.
Yeah.
And then they've done those are 15, and then they've done a line that's a 2-pack where you get a DC superhero with a smaller Sonic character, and those are $20.
Yeah.
For those, but the Sonic characters are really small in that,
right?
And that one does have a shadow.
Yeah.
And then they did a full pop line of them, and because I collect the Batman pops, of course, I had to get the Shadow.
You got it.
He looks really great. I could not have imagined when I first started collecting Batman pops that I would end up with a Sonic character.
That's amazing, though, to be fair.
But it's really cool, and he's got his classic shoes, which makes him not stand like the best because they're sort of curved in the back.
Right.
He doesn't stand great. But anyway, I'm really happy with him. I love the coloring on the hair. That's pretty great. I am tempted to buy this whole line, but I usually just get the Batmans.
Yeah.
But they did do all of those characters. So anyway, I am a little.
I mean, do they have like a Tails Robin? Like
yeah,
that's amazing.
they've got that whole team. So they got the Tails Robin, they've got the Cyborg, they've got the Amy Wonder Woman. I forgot what else, but
that's still amazing.
Green Lantern. Yeah. But whatever the 6 of them were, they've got that whole line. Let's go ahead and look at what books we've got coming out tomorrow, Chris. It shouldn't be as big of a week as last week. I spent a lot of money last week. I've got 7 or 8, and completely forgot. I finally just broke down and put it on my pull list. I had just been pulling it off the shelf because they always had copies.
Yeah.
But I totally forgot Ultimate Batman 13.
Oh, yeah.
And I called up my shop and was like, hey, if you have any left, can you hold one back? And he's like, no, we sold out. And then I went back and looked at the cover again and I went, oh, yeah, that's the first appearance of the new Catwoman suit. So, of course, everybody's buying those up. And so I went ahead and ordered one. I was worried that because the way that book has been going, that will probably be a $20 or $30 issue not too long from now.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, issue 10 is suddenly skyrocketing. At least comparatively, like, it's weird. It's a random. I don't mean that it's like number 1 where it's $50 or $60.
Yeah.
It's like $20-$25.
That's still for like a random issue. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Well, 9, if memory serves, was the first Bane cover.
Right.
I don't know why 10 would be more valuable.
Which one was the Killer Croc? That
was the
like
one that
11,
just came out. That was 12.
12. So
yeah, that just happened.
Yeah.
So anyway, or a month ago. I don't understand.
I know like Mr. Freeze was 7. I know like.
Yeah, 7 and 8 was the Mr. Freeze story, and then the Bane arc was 9 through 12.
So 10's just like randomly in the middle of
13 we're getting into Catwoman.
Right.
And then and that was the other big announcement at Comic-Con, which we'll talk about some. But they announced the Absolute Catwoman series.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I take that back. I've seen like her Absolute book, and I think I've seen like little bits and pieces. I'm not sure if I knew they had like a dedicated solo series.
It's going to be a miniseries.
Yeah.
It's going to be 6 issues. Anyway, so now we get into new comics. God, Chris, keep up. Anyway, so
I'm just a mess. I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. Where the hell is my? There it is.
There's yeah.
All right. So Absolute Flash 8 is tomorrow. That's a curious cover.
Oh wow.
Wow. He's coming at us, Chris.
Coming for us.
Nightwing 131, Batman Superman 44. Wow. Crazy that they've kept that going and not renumbered.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 24 is tomorrow. That's a pretty cool cover.
Yeah.
Again, I remain not really caring. Enter the Goblin Slayer. We gotta have a Slayer for everything, Chris.
There you go.
Something has been trying to kill Norman Osborn since the first issue of this volume. Is it because he's Spider-Man?
I guess
and
so.
They up the ante this issue. God, their copy is so bad. What can Spider-Man do to stop the Goblin Slayer? With all that Norman has done and could do, should Spidey stop it? But I thought Norman was Spider-Man, so do we still have... I'm so confused. I'm so lost with this, Chris.
I'm lost
too. So is the idea that right now you're still following Peter Parker, but Norman Osborn is around and Peter just doesn't know that he's Spider-Man? Because that copy kind of suggests that you, the reader, are maybe not supposed to know that yet. But I mean, you do because they've revealed it. But I mean, like,
it's.
But maybe like Peter isn't supposed to know. I don't know.
Well, Marvel copy's just been a mess.
It has.
Yeah.
Do I care? I don't know. Titans 28. I forgot Titans even had a book, much less that it was that many issues in.
Yeah.
Captain America 4. That is still Zartsky on that book, which again I've not heard good things. That's a cool cover.
It is. Yeah.
It looks like they are still kind of running with a very First Avengers looking suit.
Yeah.
First Avenger looking suit.
Yeah.
From all those years ago now.
We're not gonna talk. Thinking back how old the MCU actually is, it's like, oh no.
So not only did they decide to do this giant event that nobody has ended up caring about, Chris.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even a 6-issue mini. One World Under Doom, number 8.
Wow.
I had no idea that was still going.
Are they going for 12 now? Is this a maxi series?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
And, well, I wonder if... I was going to say, I wonder if it has that mid-2000s thing where they thought they could do it in a certain number of issues, and then they ended up extending it. Because we had that with a lot of, like, Fear itself kind of had that. When they did the weird point things at the end of it, but it felt like the book just kept going. They didn't feel like extra issues. It felt like it kept going. But then I'm thinking... It would be strange if that were the case with this because it's not selling very well.
Not selling very well, and also,
so you think they would end it prematurely? They wrap it up real fast in an issue. How is everything? And I know I've been preaching really hard with Marvel's kind of bad battle strategy and their marketing and stuff, and so I'm just constantly taking pot shots at them. I realize this, but I think I'm right about a lot of it. With One World Under Doom in particular, like it just seems counterintuitive. Why would you go to 8? Why wouldn't you just try to wrap it up somewhere? Nobody cares.
And One World Under Doom.
I also don't know the story, so I mean, to be fair,
it's basically Doom getting Doctor Strange powers, becoming the Sorcerer Supreme.
I know that. I'm just saying I haven't been reading it, so I don't know how involved it's gotten that far in. So maybe it's hard to wrap up that early.
I'm just saying that
I don't know.
On paper, it sounds like the coolest thing ever.
It's like on paper, it sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah.
And we'll move on because we talked about this.
Right.
But Chris, I don't agree with you. It sounds terrible in 2025.
Really?
It sounds fine in 2014.
I mean, that's fair.
But it's too late to do that. You don't do that post Secret Wars.
I guess that's true. That is fair point.
There's nowhere to go with Doctor Doom
once he's actually become like the ruler of the universe.
And he himself has rebooted the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be blown away by him being the sorcerer. No.
Yeah. That's fair.
That sounds like a stepping stone to what they've done already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're gonna do Secret
Chris.
War. Fair. Okay.
Wonder Woman 26. Like now, knowing Doomsday is coming.
Yeah.
It just seems like they're trying to come up with some excuse to do a big Doom event.
Right.
It's not creative enough.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you go any bigger than what they did with him before. So the answer would not be go bigger. It would be go interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, you do that in 2014. You don't do that now.
Right.
Punisher Red Band number 2. I got this big Punisher push all of a sudden happening when we got rid of him for several months.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk 20 is tomorrow. G.I. Joe 12, so finally ending a whole year of that series. Of course, heard nothing but good things. If you care about G.I. Joe and the Skybound books in general. Spawn 269. Let's see what nonsense is happening with Spawn right now. Nobody cares. I haven't read any copy for this in a while. 369 we're at. They're pushing to 400 already, Chris.
Wow.
In the aftermath of Hell's assault on Heaven, oh my God, they finally let that happen?
Finally, yeah.
They finally, in the books, showed a war between Heaven and Hell. It's about damn time.
Just took 3 decades, but we got there.
No pun intended. Spawn finds himself with a surprising new ally. Not one that cares for humanity as Al Simmons does. Al Simmons doesn't give a crap about nothing. What are you talking about?
I was about to say, that's the whole point.
One that wants to maintain the status quo. Well, that sounds riveting. You know who else wants to maintain the status quo?
Who's that?
Todd McFarlane. Spawn will, but I guess he's gotten a little bit away from it. He finally let the war happen. Spawn will have to make a tough decision. That sounds like synopsis attempting to make it look like something happens in an issue
Yeah.
that absolutely nothing happens in.
What happens? He makes a decision. What kind of decision? I don't know.
I don't know.
He picks.
Superman Unlimited is tomorrow, Catwoman 80, a lot of the usual suspects. So far, nothing I've got to buy.
Yeah.
Crypto is tomorrow. That's the last issue of that series. So we'll see how relentlessly depressing the end of that ends up being. But I do have that on my pull, so that's the first one so far that I'll have to buy.
It's gonna ruin your day real hard.
Unbreakable X-Men #1 is tomorrow. We are
into the new era.
Getting into these ridiculous titles. Finally, like I said, I heard that the first issue of that new big event was actually surprisingly decent.
Yeah.
And that shocked me, but I don't really plan on getting back into X-Men right now.
Yeah.
Because even if it's okay, I don't trust that it will continue just with the kind of lackluster creatives that they've had over there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
I mean, I'll probably check it out just to see, to see if I could get like some sort of spark, get my X-Men spark going again too.
I mean, I'm willing to read it in digital, especially if somebody were to request it. But I'm sure as hell not gonna pay money for the issue.
I gotta pay money for Sinister Six, which I think was a joke of the Superhero Rewind movie.
Yeah, Sinister Six #1 is tomorrow.
Yeah,
and we predicted this, like as a movie, to be fair. But there it is. More of this X years later. Oh, Age of Revelation. That's what that whole thing is called. But anyway, by the way, as always, if you're watching live right now, we appreciate you guys. And if you want to pick the next thing that we review at the end of the show, you can leave a super chat. Not that you have to wait till the end of the show to leave the super chat, but we do the reviews at the end. You can leave a super chat any dollar amount, and whoever has the biggest collection of super chats, the most money in super chats, gets to pick what we review for next time. Now, we are taking the next 2 weeks off, so everybody knows. So we'll have a big show when we come back, because there'll be a lot of stuff to go through and look at. I'm glad that next week's not huge, and I don't know what the week after that's going to look like, but at least the way this ended up falling, we are gonna get to talk about KO.
Yes.
So that's good, and we'll have a big review of that later with Austin. The three of us have all read it, so we'll take our time and do a good probably 10 or 15 minutes on that at least. But anyway, just quick plug again for folks that haven't heard about this. We're gonna be axing our regular schedule for the last 2 weeks of the month to do a big Halloween event on the channel, and Austin and I, and possibly some other special guests coming in and out, are going to go through 10 Halloween-related and horror movies for a new mania. We're doing Spooky Mania, and so it will be unplanned, unprepped for. I'll be watching some movies for the first time and reacting to them. And once again, I forgot to take all my 89s out from behind me. I did this last night again. But so we're already at Tuesday. I forgot to take these down.
Does this count as one of your 89 for 89? Is this
no, but that's why they're back there, because I did one on Sunday.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody that came out for that, by the way. We had a nice crowd for that. And I watched it on Laserdisc this time.
Wow.
So I had to flip discs, and that was an adventure.
Wow.
That was wonderful. Anyway, if you want to pick the next thing, leave a super chat, and you can pick anything from the last 3 to 4 years. At the end of the show, we're going to be talking about another. That was an Image book, right?
Yes.
Another creator-owned Image thing. This one is by Dugan, and it's Falling in Love. On the path to hell, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
On the, I keep
long title.
Getting this title wrong.
It's either Path or Road.
I think it's Path to Hell. Yeah. It's a samurai / cowboy adventure in purgatory. Is basically what it is. 4 oversized issues and for the first trade. Issue 10, I think, came out this last week, and so we just read the first 4. But we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But that's what we're doing this time. Okay, what else is happening? Crypto, Unbreakable, X-Men, not to be confused with Unbreakable, although it'd be interesting if that got a comic series, I guess. Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe #4. I don't know if that's a 4 or 5 issue mini, but that's got to be finishing up not too long from now. Rogue Storm starts tomorrow. Sinister Six, like we said, starts tomorrow. I wonder if any of our crowd is going to be buying any of these.
Yeah.
They all sound horrendous to me, at least title-wise. But
Right.
maybe something will surprise us if that Revelation thing is actually half decent.
Yeah.
Justice League Red #3 is tomorrow. I thought we just had a solicitation for that series. Weird.
Yeah,
Iron and Frost is tomorrow. It's weird how many of those they're dumping in 1 week,
Yeah,
Chris. Legacy of Vader 9 is tomorrow. Again, I thought that just happened. It seems like there's some things double shipping, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I've been hearing that, shipping's been... I just got an email from...
Maybe
Books and
Marvel has
Pictures.
to add these shipping issues just like Dynamite did.
Yeah, it sounds like that's just all around the board, too. I've gotten emails from, like,
Oh.
comic shops, too, where they're saying, like, hey, everything this week should be on time. Next week, just... If there's issues, we apologize in advance, too.
Yeah. Well, it's actually funny because they could have said the opposite. They could have said, if there aren't issues,
Right.
we apologize
That's
in advance. They also could have
fair
said
play.
that. Yeah. If there are issues or if there are not issues.
Yeah. This is a
do you get
funny...
it?
It's a funny show. Dare I say, a comic show.
I think we should fire ourselves and end the broadcast.
Exactly,
this very moment.
yeah.
Shredder #2 is tomorrow. I'm on the fence about whether I'm going to keep buying this series.
Mm-hmm.
The first issue was just fine. And I felt the same way about Casey Jones. Like, both
Yeah.
of these I feel like I ought to be buying.
Right.
And they've got cool covers, and the stories have been so far just fine. A little mediocre. And
Yeah.
I'm not in a place where I've got to buy everything Ninja Turtles like I used to
Yeah.
with IDW. And like I've said before, I kind of just want the license to lapse. And like the stuff they're doing is okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it does really, that whole universe feels played out to me at this point.
yeah.
And so I don't know if I'm going to keep going with that. If I've got a real small week this week, I might try it one more time.
Right.
But I wasn't in love with it. It was just okay. Anyway, moving right along, Lucky Devils 5. Have we talked about this series?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's read the synopsis for the first issue, as we sometimes do. The Good Omens meets Curse Words. Well, I've not read either of those things, so that
I've
doesn't
read
help
Good
me at
Omens,
all.
but I've read curse words.
In this new series from the duo behind smash hit 8 Billion Genies, I also have not read that.
I've heard of 8 Billion Genies, but I couldn't tell you anything
You
about
are
it.
throwing comic Greek at me right now. I've been out of the game for 8 years.
Yeah.
I feel like Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've been stuck in a block of ice, and I finally came out, and now I gotta catch up, now I got my best friend handing me a soundtrack for some 70s movie I'm supposed to listen to.
You got the notebook with, like, everything you've missed that changes depending on what region the movie's in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Trouble Man. That's the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But you understood the reference. That's what's important.
I understood that reference.
Which is also a reference to the same character. Isn't that
Reference to a
amazing?
reference.
Isn't that amazing?
I know. It's...
The Lucky Devils is a tale of 2 rebellious demons who decide to start a revolution in hell. A lot of hell books right now.
Hell books, yeah.
And the 2 ordinary 20-something humans they're going to manipulate to do it. Okay. So this is taking the devils on the shoulders,
Right.
and giving them their own comic series.
Okay, yeah.
That's kind of a cool notion.
That's cool, yeah.
A cheeky satirical look at good and evil. The Lucky Devils explores Faustian bargains and the temptation in a rip-roaring, hilarious new way. Not a thing I gotta read, but it sounds cool.
It sounds interesting, yeah.
I wouldn't mind somebody asking us to review that.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like the kind of thing I gotta buy.
Hint, hint, everybody.
But it might be fun to review.
Might be fun to read.
Ghost Pepper #4 is tomorrow. That is also an Image original series. Thundercats 19. Not making it sound like Netflix. Power Rangers Prime is tomorrow. Again, I continue to not care, but I'll read a synopsis because I haven't in a long time.
Yeah.
I've been hating these covers. I've not cared for the interior art. I don't like the new characters. I just don't care.
The cover is kind of a mess too. Just it's a little blurry.
They all but they've all looked like this
They've all
except for the first one. And the first issue looked really good. It was misleading. Everything after that has been muddled and middling and other M words that mean basically the same thing.
Right.
Past and present collide as the Prime Rangers prepare to face their toughest fight yet. Red Ranger, that is code for something is finally happening.
Exactly.
I almost guarantee it, even though I've not read past the first issue.
Hey, you know what's in this book? Plot.
Red Ranger Lauren finally discovers a lead on her missing family, but will they, it sounds like a Mulder plot, but will they accept who she's become? Meanwhile, Volar's forces close in, and the Prime Rangers brace for an all-out war, but can they stand up to the Black Prime Ranger's father? What, that guy doesn't even get a name? Okay, unless that is Volar, because I've not been reading this, I don't know.
The arch-villain, Dad.
Plus, sparks fly when Rita Repulsa and Janessa face off in an epic battle to cap this explosive penultimate issue for the groundbreaking first arc. It sort of feels like you just gave away the big cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah.
All right, that's weird. They're even selling that too hard. It's like, no, really, buy my blog.
Yeah, it's buy my
blog.
Got Jay Sherman work for Image
Exactly.
now.
Hello, Darkness 15. Did you like my critic reference?
I appreciate a good critic reference.
Are you proud of me, Chris?
I'm very proud.
You should be, man.
Yeah,
all right, let me keep going here.
Is there a Fire and Ice comic like the Bakshi movie?
Apparently, I Hate Fairyland continues, and that's got to be a second or third volume that's already at 45. That's crazy.
I want to say third because they just did like, well, I want to say they've done at least like 3 rounds of it. I'm not sure if it's all been like I Hate Fairyland, but look, Scotty Young, hometown hero, so you know.
Austin sending TMNT to Skybound, but I feel that way about all of these nostalgic properties now. Like, I want Skybound to get Ninja Turtles. I especially want Skybound to get Power Rangers, but I'm afraid of Skybound getting Power Rangers because it's Hasbro, and I don't want it roped into their universe. Yeah. So I want that quality of storytelling, but I don't want Power Rangers crossing with Transformers. Yeah. I'd be fine with some kind of fun crossover miniseries, but I don't want it to be
just part of the universe,
regularly part of the universe. Yeah. I think they'd clash.
Yeah.
I probably talked about this. I feel like Transformers, I don't want to say that Transformers and Power Rangers are too similar.
Yeah.
But the problem is they've both got mythologies that feel too grand to exist in the same universes. I don't know if I like the idea of the Matrix of Leadership exists in the same universe as the Morphin Grid.
Yeah, the Morphin Grid.
They're not exactly both like the Force. The Morphin Grid is very Star Wars The Force. It's kind of the thing that binds the universe together, or maybe does. It's very ambiguous. Like, we don't ever fully understand the Morphin Grid. And Transformers, it seems a little bit more limited, where it's very mystical seeming, but it's kind of just about Cybertron and the Cybertronians.
Yeah, it's more contained than like the Morphin Grid too.
But do you really want those two things in the same universe?
I mean,
I feel a little bit weird about that.
Yeah, it's if you have,
and I would even be more okay with. If Hasbro owned Ninja Turtles, I'd even be more okay with that if they wanted to rope that into G.I. Joe and Transformers. But I really want that, but I'd be more okay with that than Power Rangers.
And I think if you want to do
that, needs to stay by itself.
Yeah, if you do a mini series, you could probably do some cool stuff with it. But when you have like such complex lore, such like big galaxy spanning ideas, it's hard to make them mesh. It's hard to get them and try and find a way to make them work more than just like 6 issues at a time without having to deal with a lot of homework, basically.
Well, and Austin's kind of making my point for me, because he says I wouldn't want that in that universe, and with how they handle stuff, they'd have the Megazords powered by Energon, which just doesn't even really make a lot of sense. Like, you'd almost have to get rid of the Morphin Grid idea, or
massively retool it too.
Yeah,
like, try and rebuild.
Or I guess you could make Energon a power source. For them, and still sort of have the Morphin Grid, but that would be weird. And also, like I said, the premises weren't too similar, but they kind of are, in that you've already got transforming robots. So I would be a little bit worried that the Megazords would end up even being Transformers. Or something, right? Because we very often in Power Rangers make them sort of alive.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, the way they're...
Again, I would be okay with a crossover story that did an alternate universe where they were combined and where the Megazords were Transformers. That would be fun, but I want it to be a separate alternate history thing.
Because if you're putting those two mythologies together, you're having to do a lot of deconstruction and reassembling too, just to make it like exist and like hold water.
Plus, realistically, if Skybound got all those properties, they'd be stretched too thin. Well, there's that too. I mean, It depends on how many creators they had and how careful they were with everything, because, of course, DC and Marvel decades ago set a precedent for you can have like 40 different categories of things that all exist in the same universe and keep them straight and make it work.
And some of them are toy lines, like Romp Space Knight.
Yeah, so like I would, and Transformers with Marvel, but like, so I would be worried about that now. But it sucks because we've seen it done well. They should be able to do 12 different properties if they really wanted to. Right. So I hate that I agree with him. But it hasn't been done well in a while. But so far they've really stuck the landing with it. Okay, Chris, this is a series that I'm finding myself a tad tempted by.
Okay.
But I'm afraid if I buy it, I'll go down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
We're doing one of the oddest crossovers I've seen in quite a while.
All right.
Which is Fantastic Four and Gargoyles.
Oh.
This starts tomorrow.
Wow.
Not two things I ever would have thought to put together, and Jason asked me, wait, what do those even have to do with each other? And all I could come up with was New York.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's kind of it. Now, if you wanted to do, and I don't know how they're going to handle this exactly, if you wanted to do an out-of-continuity, and this probably will be that, just kind of silly what-if sort of thing with it, you have the gargoyles, when they first show up, be on the Baxter Building somehow.
Ooh.
Or they get somehow transferred from the castle to the Baxter Building.
Right.
But then at that point, you'd almost have to have the Baxter Building owned by Xanatos. That's kind of a neat idea, I guess. Where it's like Xanatos is Reed Richards' landlord. You can do that.
Exactly, look. Reed's paying rent to Commander Riker, that's how...
But it is Greg Weisman, and, well, let me read this. He might be doing exactly what I'm saying. So, Greg Weisman brings the Gargoyles to the Baxter Building alongside star artist...
I think you called it.
Balam. I don't know who that is. Danger strikes when the supervillain Diablo learns stone gargoyles may hold the secret to eternal life, but the gargoyles aren't about to let him leech the blood of his own. Fortunately, they've got the help of expert Diablo bashers, the Fantastic Four. Plus, Stark and Xanatos compare facial hair. That's dumb. Marvel's own gargoyle Isaac Christians bonds with his new kin and more. You won't want to miss this collision of beloved universes. Okay, it's 40 pages. It's $6. It sounds like it's not the start of a mini. It sounds like a one-shot. And it sounds like they're doing that stupid one-shot thing where there's going to be a couple of extra dumb backup stories that'll be like 5 pages and won't get anything done. So, on the one end, if I bought this, I wouldn't be committing to anything. And on the other end, it might be kind of a waste of time. So, I'll flip through it, and if the art's cool, I might buy it. Because I don't really want to start collecting gargoyles just because they've done a lot. And I never finished that series even, like the cartoon. So that's why I've never gotten into that. But I've always liked that series. I just don't know it super well. But I do kind of collect some crossovers, so I might get it for that. I don't know. And just because it's so weird.
Sometimes, like, all right, you've got, clearly somebody had some idea and was able to pull it off too, just because they were both under the Disney umbrella. So, you know,
so far I've got maybe like 3 I might be buying tomorrow. Let's see what else is going on. Oni Press has something called Catacombs of Torment, which looks like
kind of like an
old EC kind of thing. Pulp comics. Fire and Ice 4 from Dynamite is tomorrow.
Which, that's kind of weird. Like, they're making a comic out of the Bakshi movie.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. The Bakshi movie that had, who was was it Kincaid? Who was the Artist of Lights?
Oh, Austin, that's a good idea. The Gargoyles could have been on Doom's Castle.
Oh.
That'd be a cool way to do it.
See, that's a
But then they wouldn't be in New York in the first place? And so the whole idea was always, like, Xanatos brings a castle with them on it to New York.
It's a
so
lot
I don't
of
know.
embassy.
So then I don't know how you contrive them even getting to the city is the only problem
Like I
with
said,
that idea.
It's
but...
the Latvian embassy. He just owns a really tall embassy that just happens to go above the clouds.
Oh, Austin said it's not just EC-esque. That company got the EC license.
Oh,
and so it is EC.
yeah.
New EC is what that is. All right, interesting.
I know there's been a couple of companies that are doing like EC tributes. There was another company just called Enjoy Comics that called itself EC for a while.
Oh, that's fun.
But that was actually a shop in Hawaii that tried to branch out.
I want more comic publishers' names that are just telling you what to do.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
yep.
I want more commands in Enjoy Comics. Do it. Like,
read comics.
Buy this.
Buy this.
Comics. All right, anyway.
It's a hot new publisher, Consume.
DC, do consume.
Do consume.
All right, moving right along.
Take those sunglasses off at this comic shop.
Bloodletter 5. I don't right off know what that is, but I'm not going to read more copy right now. We got to just move on, I think.
Yeah.
Endeavor 1 tomorrow by Distillery?
Distillery.
I don't know who that is.
They're like a weird like indie publisher that like pops up always with like really weird stuff, interesting stuff, but it's all creator owned.
Okay.
Stephanie Phillips,
artist Mark Lanning. That rings a bell.
Like Stephanie Phillips has done like love creator owned stuff. She's done like a few Marvel books here and there. Like she's done Harley Quinn and stuff. She's also active on like TikTok where she's like, okay, if you want to get into the industry, here's like some tips and tricks. So
well, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I mean,
usually active on TikTok would immediately make me not want to do anything that you're doing.
Yes, that is a broad statement.
DuckTales is tomorrow. The War from Boom Studios. Boom is doing something called The War. Oh, it's an Ennis book.
What's the joke that if you have an indie label, just write Garth Ennis a letter, he'll send you a World War II script?
And now he's just doing something called The War.
The War.
Perfect.
Garth, what's your book? War.
Mad Cats has Racer X, which again sounds like Dynamite should have that. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dynamite, though, Blue Falcon continues tomorrow. Sonya Reborn. Sorry, this is cutting off, and I'm having a hard time fixing my size on it. So apologies with that.
Red Sonya, who may or may not turn up in a book we're reviewing later, at least in later editions.
Oh, really?
Have you seen the preview image?
No, for what? I'm sorry, I'm lost here.
Oh, DCKO, where they show where they show a big preview image that's like here's like the fighters coming in from another universe. And it's weird, folks, too. It's like Sub-Zero, Homelander, Red Sonya.
Wait, where is that?
I have it on.
It's not in the book.
It was actually something a writer posted on his.
Did he like leak something?
I think so. Because
okay, I didn't know.
Here,
but this is real.
This is at least posted on somebody's like social media. I don't know if it was like a TikTok or Twitter, Blue Sky, anything like that.
Sorry, I'm not showing this right now. Send me this and I'll put it on the screen. So minor spoilers for DCKO. If you've not read this yet, we're gonna have a hard time talking about this without just spoiling stuff. So we probably will do kind of a spoiler review with it.
Yeah.
But let me just say this may not surprise people too much, but like the Absolute Universe is involved in it.
Yeah.
And we get that that becomes pretty clear 5 or 6 pages in, and it being a big Darkseid event and Darkseid created that universe.
Yeah.
Not surprising that it's going to be somehow related.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting stuff from any other universes.
Right.
But since Snyder is making it very fighting game-ish, it kind of makes sense that he'd have
guest characters.
The Injustice like DLC type characters.
Yeah, exactly. Where you have like Hellboy and the Ninja Turtles.
That's kind of a fun idea.
Yeah.
But what I don't fully understand about it is how they would be involved in the tournament.
Yeah.
Because the tournament has a finite number of well, I guess they could just show up to make things more difficult because there are characters that we already know about that will be there but aren't official tournament characters.
Right.
So I guess you can have more of those.
Yeah.
I'm not fully understanding how all of the rules work yet.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, we'll talk about this a little bit later.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I'll put that on the screen if you send it to my Facebook when remind me.
Yep, I just sent it too, so you're...
But when we actually review that, remind me, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. Let me blow through the rest of this. So there's a new Tales of the Ninja Turtle series starting tomorrow from, of course, IDW. I'm surprised it took them this long to make this series.
Yeah.
Because that show's been on for probably a full season by now.
Yeah.
The sequel to the movie has been announced. That's coming out next year. I didn't like that movie. I don't like the aesthetic. I have not checked out the show. I just could not care less. It's not what I want from Ninja Turtles. So people seem to be enjoying it, and that's great. I'll just wait around for the next one.
Yeah.
Eventually there will be another iteration.
Right.
But the art, such as it is, looks nice in that book. I'm just surprised it took them that long.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along, Artificial. A book from Image. Whoever Maria Lovett is.
I've read some of her stuff. She's done, typically she does, erotic thrillers and stuff. She did I forget the name of the book she did with, Brian Azzarello. That was about, a club girl selling her soul to Satan.
Boy, I hate it when that happens.
I know, it just happens, I just want to have a good Friday night.
That sounds like Ghost Rider if it was a stripper. At the center is Clara. The center of what? I don't know. A jaded fashion stylist who signs up for an advanced dating service that provides hyper-realistic android partners. This does not sound that far away from what you just described.
Yeah.
But when her robotic dream date malfunctions and turns dangerously possessive... Look, this isn't even going to be science fiction in the next 3 years.
I mean, yeah, that's...
Clara is forced into a chilling fight for her freedom and her life. Man, I hate it when that happens.
Look, you just gotta stay off ChatGPT. It's
a good title for a robot series.
It is, yeah.
Artificial.
I mean,
that sounds interesting.
Maria Lovett's got
I don't mean to make fun. That might
yeah, it might be good. I've enjoyed the stuff I've read from her before.
Not a lot else to mention here. It looks like Chainsaw Man, crappy Star Trek comics. God is Dead continues. Let's see here. Gotcha Man, Zootopia from Dynamite, and then getting into some reprints from DC. Have you seen this cover for the second printing?
Oh no, I haven't.
Of Batman #1. It's neat. If I hadn't already bought that book, I would have bought this one.
Yeah.
It's cool. That is a... Is that Jorge Jimenez, or is this even a different...
It looks...
Yes, that's a Jimenez cover.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I don't know, that's kind of fun.
You love a good beat of Batman.
But that's a lot of what's coming out tomorrow, so not a gigantic week or anything. And look, they're doing a reissue of the old Deadpool The Circle book, which is funny that is valuable now. I sold that on eBay 4 times before anybody cared.
Yeah.
And I think I have a copy of it, but that's that might be a $100 book now. I can't remember. It's
and
at
that's
least
something...
50, but that's a book that's worth quite a bit now. Just because it's his first solo series.
Yeah, and that's something I remember seeing in those comic boxes you used to get back in Toys R Us. Remember those back in the day where...
Yes. Did they... Yeah, did they have those in those?
I think so. I could be mistaken, but I'm not sure.
Austin, go ahead and jump on Discord for me if you would. I almost said Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Jump on my favorite platform, Dynamite.
Jump on my IDW, everybody.
So when Austin gets in, we'll do a roundtable discussion on DCKO, see how the three of us feel about this thing, and then we'll let Austin go through some of his books. He and I will review the stuff that we have together that lines up, and then I'll go through my stuff. And then we'll get into news.
And shout out to Josh for mentioning Beneath
the
Trees Where Nobody Sees, which that's
another lengthy title.
Yeah, which is weird because that's another random character that popped up in that promo image, and it's this, And I actually found that book on...
I'm afraid they're going to lose me a little bit, though. Because I don't know a lot of those people, and, like, I've lost interest in The Boys, so, like, I don't care about Homelander, like...
Yeah, I mean, The Boys was a comic I read off and on. Like, I've watched the show more than I've read the book.
Well, that's what I'm saying, even with the show, like, it's good.
Right.
It's just not what I want from superheroes right now. I've complained about that a lot. It's exactly the same thing that I have with Peacemaker.
Yeah,
where, like,
that's fair.
I can't deny the quality of it. I just don't want to. It's not what I want right now.
Well, we've also had a series of depressing superhero properties. It's like, I
got better things to do personally, but like, it's fine. It's cool. If you like tied me to a chair and maybe watch it, I'm sure I'd enjoy it. But anyway. Hi, Austin.
Oh,
I really wish Austin would stop tying me to chairs and making me watch things.
Which coincidentally sounds like a Smiling Friends plot.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're getting tied down to watch some Smiling Friends.
Well, he actually did that to me with Peacemaker. I've only seen the pilot, and it's only because Austin made me do it.
Hold on, wait a minute. I walked away to get a drink, and when I came back, you were like, "Hey, let's do another show. Let's watch Peacemaker." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
2 hours later, he's doing the dance.
I refuse to acknowledge. I refuse to acknowledge this is the way that went down. I will
100% was.
I will deny it until I'm dead. No, he's right though. That is what happened. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk a bit about DCKO, the new gigantic DC event that's everybody's talking about. Very exciting. This is the first time in a lot of years that I've heard people actually talking about an event that DC is touting that people are actually really excited about. Austin, this feels like, I'll go as far as to say the hype with this is almost like Blackest Night level, at least to the people that are like actually paying attention to comics. Like I'm having that feeling again to at least a degree, which is kind of nice because it's been a long time since I felt like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wasn't really feeling the Blackest Night thing at the time, just because I wasn't like super integrated.
That's
into,
right
like,
when
what
I got
was going
in.
on in the comic. Yeah, exactly. So, like, I kind of missed out on that one. But I'm here for this.
Now, it's too bad that when it launched, they didn't have the opportunity to give away an issue 0 for Free Comic Book Day like that did. They'd probably sell even more if they had that. But
they would have like rings you could buy at the at your local shop.
They don't have like KO fight gauntlets.
Yes, exactly.
Like little crappy plastic Superman fight gauntlets.
You know what they need though? I mean, the nice thing too about this is, like Blackest Night, there is like a little bit of a level of interactivity where Blackest Night, you go to like forums, you go to like websites, and people are talking about like, okay, so who would be a Blue Lantern? Would Optimus Prime be a Green Lantern? And you can play along with it. Here you have, I mean, we've done our bracket.
Yeah.
Too. So I mean, like,
that's a really good point. Yeah, it feels like it's involving the reader in a way they haven't in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also feels like what Metal should have felt like.
Yes.
And I liked Metal okay,
I
but then I fell off, and I think a lot of people did. There's only one issue in, so we'll see how that whole thing ends up shaking out.
Yeah.
But this feels like Snyder coming back and doing Metal again, but like refining it and making it more accessible. I feel like.
Yeah.
As convoluted as the setup is, it feels more accessible than Dark Knight's Metal.
Well, it's the same thing with like, I mean, it's obviously pulling from like Mortal Kombat, pulling from like fighting game stuff like that, where the actual like meta plot is almost secondary to like, you guys want to see Superman punch, Darkseid?
Yeah, well, this issue, it's you have the setup for getting to that point, and then when we get there, instead of jumping straight into the tournament, we jump into the which one is it? It's like the last one before they rebooted with Mortal Kombat. I think it's I want to say Annihilation, but it's Armageddon. No, 'cause Annihilation's the movie.
Yeah.
There's like everybody running up the stairs, where it's like you get to the top of the stairs. Yeah, the pyramid. Yeah, exactly. And it's like you got to get to the top of the pyramid, and then if you win once you get there, you're like all powerful. You win the prize.
Oh yeah.
That's very much what this issue is when we get into that stuff.
Yeah. And I love how, like, the first part of it, too, is just the rush, where it's, like, everybody, like, fighting each other before we even start talking about the bracket, where...
My big takeaway, and I read this twice, and I liked it actually a lot better on a second read, because I was in the weeds a little bit with mythology and rules and stuff on first read, and that was bogging me down a bit, and once I got a better sense of what the hell was even happening on a second read, it just got a lot more fun, and I went... And Austin made a similar point the other day, so I don't mean to steal this point from you, Austin, but
That's okay.
I read this and I went, yeah, they should be doing this instead of Injustice 3.
Yeah.
And in fact, it made me think this would have been a better background story for the Injustice series than what we got for Injustice.
Yes,
yeah. Yeah, for sure. The big thing I had with this issue is I think it starts off really well, and then it kind of kicks you in the head for like 5 pages as it goes, okay, hold on, we've got like a lot of explaining, and like we gotta get this out, like we're just gonna get it all out of the way right now. So it like really like comes to a halt for a second for a couple pages.
You're right, and it's even worse if you've read the lead-in issue from Justice League, which is just wall-to-wall exposition.
Yeah.
It's exactly that, but the whole time.
Yeah.
So when they announced this, I was like, oh, that's cool. We're doing DC's version of Secret Wars. And obviously, it's not like a one-for-one.
Kind of,
but
sort
like,
of.
Yeah.
But Secret Wars is like a very, like, let's just throw the toys at each other plot. The original one, I mean.
Yeah.
And obviously that's what we're doing here, but in like a fighting game way. And it's like, okay, here, we're gonna do our fighting game thing, and we have to stop for 5 pages to be Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then it's like, okay, now we're going back to Secret Wars.
But it is DC. That's how DC does these things.
No, of course.
I don't fully mind it. I'll just say, even though I was already tired of the constant exposition dump from that Justice League one-shot, I would have been a little bit lost with this if I hadn't read that. I am glad I read that. Like, I'm glad this wasn't my introduction to the Time Trapper. Because I would have been like, why the hell is... like anorexic Doomsday standing here?
Exactly.
What the hell is happening? So I'm glad. Why is Booster Gold so important? Why is there this group of timekeeper gods, and Booster Gold is one of them?
Yeah.
By the way, I've always hated that character. Everything I've read from him lately, he's kind of cool. Like, I'm terrified DC is about to turn me around on Booster Gold.
Bringing Cap around. There we go.
He's great in this.
Around. You're converting.
There you go,
no, I gotta laugh. So I listened to
got a lot of pathos, man.
Yeah.
And also, I'll go as far as to say that one of the big things that's turning me around on Booster Gold is like grizzled, gone through the gauntlet, has like either 5 o'clock shadow or a full beard. Booster Gold. I think that character should always have facial hair, and I think from now on, if he doesn't, you're doing it wrong. I think Booster Gold is way cooler if he's got a beard.
That's how we know whether you like or hate him.
He's got to have a beard.
If he shaves, he's done.
Yes, yep, that's it. Yep, that's this is literally the difference between boys and men. This is how we are separating the boys from the men. Is bearded Booster Gold. Now he's all grown up. He's a man. I like him now.
He's Booster Gold, not Booster Seat Gold.
Can we?
I'm sorry. Can we all stop for a second and have a moment of silence for that joke? Booster Seat Gold?
I saw it opening. I had to take it.
That is both my favorite and least favorite thing you've ever said. It's so good.
Exactly what I strive for.
Horrible. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, can we have like a mini that gets them from one place to the other? That's just called Booster Gold Boys to Men.
Booster Seat Gold Boys to Men.
Booster Seat
Gold Boys to Men.
Booster Seat Gold.
The worst album of the 90s.
I need a booster seat for my 1.5-year-old that is booster gold colors. It's booster seat gold. But then I would be buying booster gold stuff.
You can't go back now. You've already said that you're starting to like booster gold. You've changed things. There's no going back.
You know, Mikey, when I took Mikey to the comic shop last week, he almost bought a booster gold comic just to piss me off.
Now you're gonna be like, son, I love you for buying Booster Gold, my favorite character.
My ways.
Just does he have a beard? That's what. Anyway, sorry, Austin. Get us back into this issue.
Sorry.
Oh no. So I gotta say, while I was at work today, I listened to your guys' last week show since I missed that one.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Man. And yeah, no, and I was laughing when you guys were talking about that prequel issue, because like months ago, you won't remember this, Cap. I sent you a message. I was like, "Oh, they're doing this weird thing with Doomsday now in the Williamson run, where he's like skinny and he's like smart and he's like from the future or whatever." But it looks pretty neat. Like I'm kind of interested. And you were like, "That's dumb." Just like cashing in on all this nostalgia. And I'm watching the video, and you're like, "Oh man, there's this new Doomsday. He's like skinny and he's smart and he's from the future. It's so cool."
You know, here's the thing though. That's comics too.
Well, now I've experienced it.
Yeah,
it's all right.
You'll see like the dumbest idea in the world, and then you'll read the comic. You're like, man, skinny Doomsday, man. I just can't believe.
Look, I'm gonna be a jerk again, but this is the difference between DC and Marvel right now. If Marvel did that idea, it would be horrible.
Yeah.
Say again.
Exactly. I said it would be thwicked.
It would be thwicked. You know, thwicks hold the universe together too. It's
exactly.
So we'll warn everybody spoilers if you want to get into spoiler territory with this. But I guess we should get into how you guys felt about the big revelations at the end of this. I think everybody understands this premise well enough.
Yeah.
Austin, how do you feel about the way this so far is tying into Absolute? Were you expecting much of that?
So I expected something because it's so dark side focused, and last big event.
It's integral to the mythology of this whole idea.
Yeah.
That like there's a there's a dark side heart at the center of the Absolute universe, and now that's starting to happen to ours, and that's what we've got to fix.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. No, it seems like this is kind of the big thing that the main DC universe has been building to, where, like, I think the last big event was where, I think that might have been called All In or something. I don't know. I can't remember. I know that's what they all have on their cover now, but it was something that started with an A. I don't remember. But I think that's where Darkseid dies, and then
was it not Absolute Power?
Spawns from that. Oh, you know what? I think you're right. It was Absolute Power. There you go. Thank you.
I think that's what starts the Absolute universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what the event was, yeah. And then, so it seems like we've just kind of been building this. I'm going to be interested to see what that looks like, because it feels, reading this, where it's like, oh, you know, the Absolute Universe could have ended here. Like, this could have been a point where we could have just ended it if it wasn't working out.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Well, it could have been a lot like what Marvel's doing right now with Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Which, Austin, help me remember to bring up when we talk about news later, because it's not on the article I pulled up, but that's one of the big things we need to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ultimately.
One
thing I thought was really amusing about the setup for this is the acknowledgement that it easily could have been another excuse to full-on reboot.
Yeah, yeah.
There's kind of some fun, like, meta commentary, like an editorial commentary in that, where they're like, look, there's only one way to fix this. We knew 52 it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, are we going to forget our whole histories again if we do that? Yes, we will. Well, we can't do that then. I know what we should do. This bizarre theoretical notion of this huge tournament, because the Time Trapper is pretty sure that that's what the heart would set up. He's like, look, it thinks fourth dimensionally, and the only possible answer is it makes us all fight to get the power to destroy the the apocalypse heart in the center of the earth. And then Superman's like, yeah, we're not doing that. And I'm like, there's a couple of reasons you shouldn't do that. First of all, how the hell do you even know it's gonna work?
Yeah.
Like it's also insanely theoretical. And then of course Superman's whole reason is just, you know, morally he doesn't want to go beat up all of his friends.
Yeah.
Austin, the big question mark I had with this is, why did I miss something? I read this twice and I never understood this. Why is everyone so sure that coming out of the tournament they'll all survive? I don't understand that. Because it feels like what they should be is only one person will be left standing, and he will have the... Is it just that they're remaking the universe, and so then they can bring everybody back from the dead? Is that all it is? Whereas just in remaking the universe, you can give them all their memories back, and you've got godlike powers. Is that all it is? Or is it that somehow they know that they're not really going to die?
Well, that was the thing I was unsure about reading it. Maybe it's in some sort of tie-in material. I don't know. Who knows? It should be in the main book. But I've heard fans be like, oh, you know, like when you die in this like world, this tournament world, like you don't actually die. You're just kind of taken out of it. And I'm like, okay, but that's not in this first issue.
Nobody ever talks
like,
about that.
Yeah, I mean...
But they all act like they know that that's the case, but nobody ever said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that has to be the case, because that's... You know, clearly with that, like, was it Batman Knife Fight or Night? Yeah, I think it's Night Fight book.
Night
like,
Fight.
it's
When
going
does
to be.
That start?
I think next month.
I'm so excited about Batman with a Batleth. I don't even care if that story's good. I just got to have that image on covers, man.
That's fair, yeah. Well, I mean, the whole thing kind of read just like DC, just being like, having some reason to hand wave, be like, okay, look, characters are going to die, but, like, don't worry, Batman's still going to be there. Fraction's still well-being.
Well, they have
Fraction's having a rough time, too. I'm not sure if you saw. He's in the hospital right now.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I didn't hear that.
He got COVID, and then, like, something worse happened. And, like, basically, it turned into something worse. It sounds like he's fine. He's just, like, been staying there. I mean...
Wow.
But he posted a thing on, like, his Blue Sky where he's got, like, you know, he was in the hospital, just saying, like, yeah, I got COVID. It sucked. Now I'm in the hospital. I'm all right.
So they had this... Well, I'm glad he's all right.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, because I guess... Because his wife, Kelly Sue DeConnick, got COVID, and then he caught it, and then, so... but, I mean, it seems like he's doing all right, at least, so...
So, getting back to this, they had an image at the end of this... with some of the characters that were not even allowed to get into the tournament. Like you said, they've got the rush, and there's all these characters that are trying to get in, including Ambush Bug, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's an image at the end that shows, like, even when the issue's over, it might be a cover, I'm not sure, that shows several of those characters as, like, stone statues.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's what happens to you when you lose. But why couldn't that have been part of the 5 pages of exposition?
Yeah, exactly. That could have been there. Yeah, that's where you see Blue Beetle die, and then we cut, and there's a bunch of statues, and then we see his, like, pop in.
That feels like Smash trophies.
Yeah. So much of this, I mean...
Which is fun.
Yeah, it's wearing its fighting game influence just right on its sleeve, too, which I think...
100%.
And that's how they sold it.
It's how they sold it.
What you want it to be. I mean, it's fun.
I think, like, I know when I was reading this, a lot of the really exposition-heavy stuff, I sort of rushed through because, like, all right, this is just move the pieces into place, too. This is the background noise in fighting game. This is the screen they show. Is like, Liu Kang was at the White Lotus Temple. Like, all right, cool. How do you shoot a fireball? I want to turn into a dragon and eat Shang Tsung.
See, you and I have the exact opposite.
Yeah.
We're like, I'm looking at it with a fine-tooth comb, almost taking notes, going, how exactly does all of this work?
Yeah.
Chris is over here going, who cares? It's a fighting game, you
It's
idiot.
like, I don't think so, yeah. And I say this as somebody who gets really into, like, flavor text of fighting games, too. It's like, please tell me, why do the Lin Kuei hate the Shirai Ryu?
You make a really good point, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it hit me when I was going through a lot of that stuff, where it was like, okay, so Superman needs a weapon, everybody needs a weapon, cool, it's like Soul Calibur.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had. Where it was like, okay, like I'm ready for this cutscene to end.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I just wanted to make sure that I understood how it was even coming together, because, like, obviously it's all kind of cookie cutter excuse to make this happen, but as a big event, it feels like the stakes are important enough for the overall universe that I kind of need to know what the rules are, because on the one hand, as a story, it's all about the fun fighting game mechanics, and on the other hand, in some ways, all roads have been leading to this, so it feels like it kind of matters more than it would in a fighting game. To, you know, in Snyder's defense, in trying to make all of that make sense, and I don't know that it fully does, but I understand it a bit better on a second read. I feel like the bigger thing is just
it's
like
more just it just gets really dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
This does do like a Snyder loves to mess with panels. Like he had
Nobody
like
can see that.
Oh, the weird track thing where it goes yeah.
Oh, I know the exact page.
Yeah,
that you're
it's
talking
Well, he
about.
does that a couple
Just by
times.
saying
It's
that,
like, it's like kind of a board game setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which calls back to the Trinity playing board games at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I was reading it panel for panel, and I could kind of see like the curve, like, and I went, "Oh, is this supposed to be like making the like dark side symbol?" And then I went out, and I'm like, "Oh no, it's like a board game track." Okay, cool.
And, I mean, that's something that Snyder did like every couple of issues in his Batman run too, where like Court of Owls, you had the part where you had to spin the book around, and they even had like something similar in Zero Year where you meet the Riddler for the first time, and it's basically like a Trivial Pursuit board.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I remember that page. Yeah,
that's a really neat page.
Yeah.
No, it's a little bit surreal seeing it done without Capallo, actually.
Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
A couple reservations I had about this. First of all, I wasn't sure I bought the basic idea of like just in Superman's character that he doesn't like competition. I don't know how I feel about that. When Diana says Superman only likes to play games where nobody loses, and I'm like, I think there's a difference between being selfless and not being competitive and wanting to win games. Like, this is a guy who in high school was a football player.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy that. How do you guys feel about that?
He's too righteous to play Candyland. He's just...
Yeah, because that was a really simple, like,
yeah,
kind of child's game that has no strategy to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It was entirely luck. But I felt like that was overly simplistic for Superman's character.
It seems like they're trying to...
If that's how Snyder sees Superman, I don't know if he understands Superman.
I mean, it seems like they're trying to get like a character arc and trying to come up with something like, all right, we need to tie this together. And I think that's like, if there's one flaw to this book, it's just that they had the idea before they knew exactly how they were going to tie it together plot-wise.
Well, all you had to do is foreshadow the fighting game thing with the board game better.
Yeah.
What I would have done is, now you'd need a fourth player. It couldn't just be the Trinity. There's no reason you couldn't have done that. Put a Robin in there. It could be Batgirl. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
It could be John Kent. He's in this. It could
Lois
be anybody.
shows up briefly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, wasn't Lois there?
Yeah, she was there. Yeah.
Yeah, she walks in.
So
Yeah,
there were
she's
four
the
of
one that
them
walks in
playing.
and is like, Clark doesn't like to play games where people.
Oh no, you're right. She says
right,
it.
she's the one.
Well, then, okay, then I'm dumb. You totally could have done this. It should have been a team game. And Superman, it isn't that he's not competitive, it's that his leaning is always self-sacrificial, so there's... Now, it couldn't be Candyland, it would have to be a little bit more complicated,
no.
but he should do something that compromises his... like himself as a player in order to let his teammate get ahead. That's how you do that. You don't just say he doesn't like playing games where when somebody loses.
Clark, we're going to teach you about Munchkin. I mean, I do remember.
Austin, did that bother you?
Austin, are you a Munchkin guy?
No. I mean, I like Munchkins, but like the people. But no, with that, I mean, it's a little like Marge Simpson-y, where like you'll watch an episode and she's like a person, and then you'll see another episode and they're like, oh, Marge is so like uptight about everything.
Yeah.
Like, she can't watch movies or something. Like that kind of a thing. Like, kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
I guess I like when you look at the Trinity that you have this thing where they're all playing board games, and you have like Superman who's like, I just want to play like team games where we all win together. Wonder Woman who's just like, I'm just here to have fun, like let's just play the game. And then Batman who's just an asshole.
Who's just locked in. Yeah.
And he like made the game and it's all themed around him, which is also like very meta, where it's like, we're DC, everything's gotta be Batman.
When the hell did he have time to make a game and publish it? Like, that's so funny. And then like he publishes it under M. Malone Productions.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
And like the book's like, just let him have it. Yeah.
Yeah, in DC, instead of the Parker brothers, you have the Malone brothers.
That just sounds like gangsters.
Well,
I don't
obviously
know.
you got the Malone brothers. There's
course.
2 of them. They're twins. That means they match.
Exactly. See? There you go. It was
Yeah,
a
and then
double-layered joke. I didn't even realize
Gotcha.
And then that's supposed to pay off when we're about to get into the tournament, where they're like, this is how that's related. Where Superman finally agrees to do this because it's a tournament where at the end of the day nobody loses, because it's that like the one person that wins will solve it for everyone, and that's how that's. I thought that was clunky. I thought that could have been handled a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then how do you guys feel about the big couple of twists at the end? One of them being that and Austin kind of called this, that Batman is not actually in the tournament.
Yeah.
And then the other one being that Darkseid. I guess there's kind of 3, but the other big one being that Darkseid is like possessing someone and has already won, whatever that will ultimately end up meaning.
I was kind of surprised by Batman going down like the way he did too. I mean, I probably shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have been, but
Well, do you guys feel like DC sort of played us dirty with the? Because some people are complaining about that with the brackets, where it's like they encouraged us to make brackets. And then if you have Batman go very far at all, I guess now you have to just say
busted right away.
Well, it's not busted if Joker gets as far as Batman would have, because Joker has taken his place. But you didn't know it was going to be Joker, so you might not have taken him as far, because like, will he go as far as you thought Batman would?
Yeah.
And the fact that he gets in there makes you think he's got to make it to at least round 2 or 3.
Right.
And I thought Batman would get taken out early, but would still be there because they put him on the bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that they did a bait and switch. I think that's fun. And now it went from, I think it's going to be Batman versus Damian to, well, now it's obviously just going to be Joker versus Red Hood in the next round. But, I wouldn't say I predicted it, but I was like, I really think Batman should just be knocked out early, because like, no matter what, they're going to have to play like fast and loose with it. So I was like, I was very happy when he got taken out, and then they replaced him with Joker, and I'm like, it's going to be the exact same thing. So whatever.
Yeah.
Well, now we got Joker and Harley both there, and are they on opposite sides of the bracket? Because they'll probably match.
No, they're on the same, so they're
on the
probably
same-
going to end up fighting each other, and it's going to be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that'll happen. So we can predict exactly who he'll fight, right? Like, he fights Red Hood, he fights Harley Quinn. Harley will beat him because she has to.
Yeah.
Next issue, when Snyder like finds whatever way out of his ass for Joker to beat Star Sapphire and Harley to beat Metamorpho,
People are already
I'm
calling
gonna
that
be
too.
like, okay,
Sure,
whatever.
There's gonna be some BS just like there was back in the day with Amalgam.
Yeah.
With DC versus Marvel. I mean, this is
gonna
that
pull
whole thing all over
something,
again.
Yeah.
but we'll see. But yeah, I thought it was fun to do like a little bait and switch with that. It probably would have been too much if they did more than one.
I think so too.
Because
Yeah.
they advertised the bracket thing. But just doing one, I think that's fun.
I personally didn't mind it horribly, but I just wondered where you guys were on it because people were complaining.
Yeah.
The dark side thing, I have no idea what to think about that so far. My
here.
worry is that that's gonna feel very just like too easy or like forced when we get to whatever that is. So hopefully that's handled right. But we'll see.
Who do we think he is likely to be possessing? Because whoever it is will fight Superman at the end, almost certainly. Because I mean, it is kind of Superman's book, or at least I would think that's what we do. And it seems like it would be too on the nose if it was Lex. I really hope that's not what it is.
Could it be Wonder Woman?
I would like that better.
That's a possibility, yeah.
No, it certainly could be.
No, because I feel like Lex has to be actually Lex. But I mean, who knows?
Especially with, and I'm just thinking out loud right now, Austin, because I hadn't even had that thought.
Yeah.
But like, if Darkseid was possessing Wonder Woman, that's kind of interesting since he's the big embodiment of evil right now and created this kind of evil universe, and Wonder Woman in the Absolute Universe came from hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like you probably want Darkseid on the other side of the bracket to a Superman. Like you said, where Lex and Superman are on the same bracket, so we would get to that a little earlier.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say.
I'm not sitting here
Maybe
looking
it's
at
Joker.
the bracket. I should have pulled that. I should pull that back out while we're talking.
Yeah, I've got it up on my issue here too.
I did.
If there's anything to be learned from Absolute, it's that Darkseid completely hates Batman.
Yeah.
And is like, all of your villains are Lovecraftian monstrosities, while everyone else is, breathing a little easier. And Joker is the one who takes Batman out, so it could be.
I love that we get a character select screen.
That is great, yeah.
Yes, that is great.
That made me very happy.
Yeah. The
presentation of this book overall is just really lovingly and thoughtfully put together. And I had expressed a little bit of reservation about the lettering, which, just because I was afraid it would be intrusive and kind of hard to look at after a while, which ended up being one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the splashy experimental lettering stuff that McFarlane was doing back when he started Spawn. Especially when you get that full black page that was nothing but letters. There's a lot of that back in the day with Spawn, which again makes this kind of odd that it's not Capullo.
Yeah.
And I thought the art in this was actually quite fantastic. So I'm not saying I'm even really missing him too much, but there's so much stuff that's reminding me of like McFarlane and early Image that it's really odd not to have Capullo on this book.
If Capullo was still at DC, I wonder if maybe this would have been like a big these two guys are reuniting for this event thing.
I bet it would have been.
Yeah, he's probably got like a contract up there now.
Did he do Metal, or was that somebody else?
I think he did Metal. Yeah, he did the first Metal. At least.
I'm not sure, but I think he only went to Marvel like a year or two ago. Like, he hasn't been there long.
I think Capullo was he did Metal and I think Death Metal too, if my memory serves, because that was after their Batman got big, and then it's like, cool, now draw Batman kidnapping a dinosaur.
But like I said, presentation is really cool. I love the kind of gatefold cover with this in physical. It's really worth getting in physical. The kind of transparent cover across it. I almost bought the variant, the like $2 more variant, that has it has another one of these, but it's got like rips in it, or like explosions, like bullet holes, or not bullet holes, but it's got like holes in it. It's really cool looking. Sorry, it's been a week. I'm trying to remember what exactly that looked like. And that was super cool. But there's another one of those where I like the A cover enough. I could not have that. I wasn't gonna buy them both when the other book is like $8 or $9. So I ended up with this, but it's lovely. I was really happy with it. Senior
Is
Sticks
there an
put in-
arcade cabinet variant? Because there should be.
There should have been. Yeah, I don't think there is. Or at least a like startup screen kind of variant.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Or
FBI
something.
warning.
A game
winners don't do
system with like a
drugs.
little controller and then a
Yeah.
TV with KO on it.
Yeah.
Senior Sticks $2 super chat. Are you surprised or not by Absolute Hawkman? He's referring to the
Absolute
Evil, which started last week. And Austin, I don't know if you've caught up or you've read that yet.
I've not. For getting things done for today, I focused mainly on this week's comics as opposed to last week. So I got all those in, with the exception of Kryptonite Spectrum. But no, I haven't gotten my last week's comics. That book's been like completely spoiled for me at this point, though. So
Everybody
yeah,
knows what's happening.
it's fine.
Sorry about that. Oh, so you even know about the last page now?
No, not even from like you guys. I just mean in general. Like the second that.
No,
book
I'm just
came
saying. I'm
out,
sorry you haven't had a
people
chance
were like
to read
flooding
it
the
before that
internet.
happened.
Right.
So you know about the last page and everything.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have a lot to say yet about Absolute Hawkman. I don't even remember a ton, just right here in the moment about that. Look, it's been a week. I've slept since then. I had to read all of this stuff for today.
Yeah.
He seemed kind of scary. I guess I don't really know what else to say right now in the moment.
I'm guessing he probably means like with I almost said Hawkeye, with Hawkman, like with what he does.
Yeah,
at the end of that book.
Society and
Yeah, like being like a jerk.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of Absolute it's not always just flipping the script and like totally opposite, but like sometimes it's like that. I guess I wasn't really so. I was surprised more about the Green Arrow thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All I know is because I know they're setting up like a Justice League thing. And they're setting up like the perfect spot to do the best joke you could, which is that the hero team is called the Absolutes. But we probably won't do that.
Cedar Stick says Joker didn't replace Batman. He just got all the advantages opposed to Batman. No, he did. Because he's one of the villains that gets in, and then when you... Like, am I reading something wrong? And then when you get to the bracket at the end, there's a Joker smile next to Batman's name on the bracket. Like, they flat out replaced him with the Joker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm liking KO so far, so hopefully it continues to be cool and fun.
Yeah.
That's Austin saying, "Can we move on now?"
No. That's me saying, don't make Etrigan lose round one, because if you take out every single character I was most excited about for being there is in a bracket where they will obviously lose in round one. So I'm like, at least keep one of them.
I mean, look, you got that Connor Hawkman fight too. I mean, that is a battle of the superstars right there.
Nicholas Bodo, Absolute Hawkman is shaping up to be a big antagonist in Absolute Green Arrow, but again, we know very little about him. Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure what to say. Absolute Joker is amazing. Veronica Cale has a ton of potential. Yeah, he's fascinating.
Yeah.
In that, I got to go back and reread that because I was kind of bored the first half of it. It's just so talky, and I didn't know where things were going. So, and I know this was like on purpose, but that book opens looking so much more like the standard DC universe that I was just kind of taken for a loop. And that's kind of the point of it, is to then, shock you when it starts getting very, very absolute by the middle. And then I perked up again, but the way it introduces Green Arrow, I'm like, oh, okay, so we just sort of have regular, and then, okay.
Yeah, and like for that comment, all I can really add is just I like Veronica Cale a lot in Wonder Woman so far, so
yeah, and I'm
interested to see more of her.
Because I've only
because I think she's introduced like 2 issues after what you guys read.
Yeah, I've only read that first arc, so I was like, I haven't met the Scared. I've met everybody else that was in that room, I think. Although I'm not very far into Superman either, and I lost interest in that book, so I just haven't caught up. But I literally have only seen the introductory page where you go, oh, holy crap! That's all I've seen for Ra's al Ghul. So I have no idea what he's even like until I read Absolute Evil.
Right.
Oh, that's too funny.
Anything else you guys want to say about KO?
I didn't.
I thought it was really energetic.
Yeah.
Like I miss events like this.
Yeah. I looked up the letterer too. A guy named Hassan Otsmane Alao, I think that's how you pronounce it. But he's done like a number of other things. He's got kind of like it. The lettering I thought was really interesting, and he is actually another book he's done is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Oh wow!
Which explains the bear in that promo image.
Now look, Chris.
So there you go.
I loved the lettering in this enough to mention it.
Yeah.
But we don't need. But I never go as far as to actually credit or talk about letterers. Okay.
I've done lettering, so I might be a little specific.
I'll say, hey, this was really cool.
Yeah.
But it just. It looks like a nerdy step too far to start actually talking about letterers.
We've already.
No, I'm totally joking.
Yeah.
I wish
sitting here, he's like, look, I respect everyone from every walk of life except for letterers. They are the only scum on this planet. Everyone else has my respect except for letterers.
No, it's just in my 16 years of doing this, I've never memorized the name of a colorist, an inker, or a letterer that wasn't also a regular artist on something, like penciler on something.
Yeah.
And so I feel very self-conscious when all of a sudden this guy knows something about lettering.
I literally just Google it like right now. So
Oh, okay.
I feel too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on, shall we? Austin, tell us about some of the stuff that you bought in read. I guess you said mostly this week. And I'll give you the floor and won't cut in much unless until you get to stuff that we both read, and then we can review those things together.
Yeah, and I'll save those for the end, like I normally do. So the only 2 I didn't get to were Superman Kryptonite Spectrum, just because I didn't have time. And then Batman Dark Patterns, just because I'm waiting for the last issue. With all of those arcs, I've just read the 3 together. So I was like, there's only one more in this last arc, so I'll just read it.
I bought that too, but I've also not read it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just going to wait till the last one's out and then read it all together. So let's see, what do I want to start with? Okay, I will start with Punisher, Marvel Knights, The World to Come, #1. So there's that new Red Band book, which I wanted to try, but it's not on Comixology in single issues, so I went, I'll just try this one instead. And this book is incredibly bizarre in how it's coming out, because it's the plot of the current Absolute Batman arc.
What?
So the story with this is the Punisher is after this gang, and because he's the Punisher, that's what he does. And he finds their kind of big henchman guy, who I think his name is like El Zombo, and he like cannot be damaged. He just destroys Frank in a fight, and they capture him, and they have him in prison for 122 days, where they are torturing him every day and doing the same thing they did to their henchman guy to make him a zombie. And the kind of big ending bit is that he's like finally broken, and now he is also being controlled by them, and that's kind of the big cliffhanger at the end of this issue. But yeah, I thought this was pretty good. It was like nothing groundbreaking or anything, but it was just like, I like the Punisher. Here's the Punisher. He's doing Punisher-y things, and now we're doing this mind control thing, so we'll see where that goes. But I knew I was in pretty safe hands like almost immediately when the first page is the Punisher holding a criminal up over like a meat grinder, and then the panel like goes down and you can see there's just like a bunch of like chopped up people at the bottom, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know he just will be the Punisher. That's cool. I'm down for that.
You don't have to deal with any of those damn Punisher cops.
No, there was no damn Punisher cops, which made me happy. And then the end of this issue had the greatest page in any comic I had this week, which was next month, Punisher versus El Muerto. And I was like, here we go.
Austin sent me a message and he went, we're going to have to do a Comic Vault exclusive special on just that issue. It's the most important issue of comics of all time. Are you aware that there are only like 2 El Muerto comics like ever? And they're finally bringing him back, and he's fighting the Punisher.
Yes.
But like, he was supposed to get his own TV show or movie or something. I guess a movie for Sony.
Yeah, I did hear that.
When that was announced, Austin was like, "We've got to do a vault where we review the 2 El Muerto comics."
Yes.
And then we never got around to doing it, and then they canceled that, so we were like, there's no reason to do it now.
Yeah.
Because we were like, we have to do it when that movie comes out. I still stand by that. If that movie ever somehow manages to come out, we've already committed. We have to do all of his comic history in one.
Definitely, but I thought we were
video
gonna,
when it comes out.
I started looking for them. I thought we were going to do it after that announcement.
I mean, considering that his output just increased by like 50%, you know.
And that's only if he's in the next issue. If he continues, we could be doubling.
Oh, right.
They are exponentially increasing the appearance of this character.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. So, of course, when Kingpin came to Daredevil, it like shook the pillars of Marvel, changed everyone's opinion of Kingpin and how we look at that character. And now it will be even bigger with El Muerto because now he's a Punisher villain. And that is very exciting.
Oh, you know what? I will predict this. In 2 years, you'll have an announcement for El Muerto Max.
Yep.
That's what's coming. Or
Sony and Disney will make a new deal for him to have a Disney Plus show.
They bring back Max Line just for that too.
Sorry, Austin, what did you say?
Oh, sorry about it.
Oh, I just said Disney and Sony will make a specific El Muerto deal, just like they have for Spider-Man, just so we can have a Disney Plus show.
Or it'll be a new Punisher Max, but the first arc will be focusing entirely on El Muerto, like Jason Aaron did with Kingpin and Bullseye.
Yeah, exactly. And El Muerto's Max series will be called El Muerto to the Max.
There, you know what?
It's right there.
Money on the table.
El Max Tour.
El Max Tour.
Okay, Austin, what else do you have, sir?
So next, I have Godzilla number 3, Godzilla Keisai number 3. This issue's pretty good. It's very much just kind of moving the pieces from last issue to next issue, so it's not like anything like amazing or anything, but it's just kind of getting things ready for next issue to be really great. So I'm excited to see where that goes, and I like all the characters in this, and it's a pretty solid book. Okay,
I have no idea what this series is. What's it called again?
Godzilla Keisai, which is Kaisei.
I'm just trying to pull the cover up. I don't know what. Oh, I did have the right one. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, and this there's like these giant leech things that are that like feed off of kaijus, and they just found out they're man-made, and now they're hyping that Godzilla's going to attack a city next issue. So.
The little glimpse we have of him in the background here makes him look almost like the '98 Godzilla.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, he does kind of have a face like that. He is very different from traditional. Like, it is like a very different design. Yeah, he's got like a bit of that '98 face. Let's see. My next issue is Super Creep Show Special. Which is a creep show special one shot.
This sounded
basically an annual book. Yeah, it's a horror anthology superhero parody issue.
I love
and
the cover.
It was. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in this, it's got three stories. The first one is Funeral for a Fiend, where basically Superman dies, and all the heroes are like, "Oh man, Superman, he's dead," and Lois Lane's like, "Pfft, Superman's gonna be back in like a week. Come on, we know how this goes."
Austin sent me a message and he went, "Thank God you had me read Funeral for a Friend last week."
Yeah, exactly. And so basically with that, they build essentially like a vibranium coffin for like their Superman. And they're like, that way, nobody can rob his grave, which technically might make it smarter than actual Funeral for a Friend, but they do rob his grave. And nobody thought to put checks in for that.
Yeah, it's weird how easy that was.
Yeah, exactly. But so not Lois Lane is like, what the hell? It's been 3 months and he's still not back. Like, you know what? They basically made his coffin out of vibranium. He's probably just stuck in it. I'm gonna go help him out. So she goes and breaks him out of his coffin, and his body shoots up into the air and just starts like destroying the entire city. And all the heroes are like, "Oh, Lois Lane, you're so stupid. Like, the reason we put him in there wasn't for grave robbers. It was because when you die, like your body basically flushes itself. So basically, because he's an alien, like his body's like shooting off like the last little bit of like heat vision and like flying power he has.
No.
So his body's just kind of floating around, like spraying death on everyone. And
So amazing.
That's so weird.
so they're all fighting his dead body, and it kills their not Batman and not Wonder Woman and the rest of their Justice League. And Lois Lane's like, "Don't worry, I found this kryptonite gun that Superman gave me in case of emergency." And she shoots him, and his body explodes. And one of the other heroes is like, "No, Lois Lane, you idiot! You shouldn't do that because in our body is we have." Microscopic organisms that help us when we're alive, but when we die, they eat us, and that's why we decompose. And they're, basically not Kryptonian, and now they've been given like the sun ray power that Superman has. So now they have his strength, and they start growing, and they basically become giant Superman piranhas, and then they eat everyone. So that was that first story. It was pretty great. The second one
I can't believe you
is like
explained that entire story.
No, because it's crazy, and I thought I won't do that for all of them.
Look,
but
it worked on me,
that one's so crazy that I thought you guys would like that.
I'm glad to know what happened, and that's hilarious.
The next story is it's like a '90s Liefeld character with like the big guns and the pouches and stuff. And his power is he is like a bird that has a soul. So like if you destroy his body, the bird just rebuilds him. And he's killed in the '90s and like completely obliterated, and it takes 30 years for his body to be rebuilt. But now everything's corporate and all the heroes sold out. And then they capture his soul bird, and then basically they, take his soul. They take the soul of the superhero and they corporatize it, so it's like a parody of, that kind of a thing now. And then the third story is a parody of the Hulk. Yeah, exactly.
But then beautiful. They still sold you an overpriced comic book.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to get that parody. It's wonderful.
Well, it's also funny because it's like the '90s like crappy superheroes too. It's like, oh man, we lost the soul of the young bloods.
Yeah, it's like we were already talking about how superheroes had lost their soul at that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's always continuing. Then the third story is the Hulk, where not Bruce Banner. He creates this Hulk formula, and he's like, "Oh, I've like properly thought it out, and like my skin will grow as I grow, and I'll become super strong." But he doesn't think to have it go the other way. So when he becomes Bruce Banner again, he's just like a massive flesh and stuff, and then he like suffocates in himself, and that was pretty fun too. But yeah, this was a really great, giant issue. It was very fun.
Yeah, I was really surprised that was all superhero parody stuff.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that. I probably should have by the cover, but for whatever reason, it did not jump out at me.
Well, that could have been just about one story, and then the others were completely different. But
yeah, exactly. My next issue is Transformers number 25.
I bought it, but I'm not caught up, so I can't read it yet.
Yeah, exactly. There it is, with that beautiful Dan Mora art.
That's a great cover, yeah.
All I know about this is they were super classy in having the previous artist do the first few pages, and then they visually passed the torch, which I don't like between runs. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's really cool.
That sounds cool, yeah.
What's so cool about that is because we start with the scene with the Decepticons where it's that old art style, and then full page, like full black with just the Decepticon logo, full page all black, just the Autobot logo, and then the new, Dan Mora art. So it's like we pass it also in like the old 80s cartoon where like the transition comes out and switches logos. Yeah. It's so awesome.
It's really neat.
It's fantastic. That was such a great choice. Yeah. No, it was fantastic. I love that that Kirkman did that. That's so geeky.
And then just right away, it's really splashy when you get to the Morris stuff.
Yeah. No, and it's so beautiful. It looks great.
I'm sorry, I will let you review this, but I just gotta say, it is so back to the conversation we had earlier about like Megazords as Transformers. It is extremely surreal to me seeing a Transformers book drawn by Dan Mora, because when Mora was doing Power Rangers, and of course that's really where he got his start, and where people really started noticing him anyway. And it was you're reading Power Rangers, it's mostly humans, and then morphing, and then they're in costumes, and then just occasionally you'll get Megazords. And it was always a really big deal when you got them when you got the Zord fights with Mora, because he drew them better than anybody did. And then you get it, and then finally he's doing Transformers, and so it's Megazords every panel. It's just crazy to finally have that. Yeah. It's every single panel now.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and his art just with the G1 designs looks so good.
Well, he's had a lot of practice with similar things.
Yeah, and there's a big reveal too with Wheeljack that made me like actually jump up in my seat, because I'm like, oh, this is the thing I've been waiting for since this book started, and it's fantastic. So that was really cool. I guess because they did, so the last 2 years they've done like a universe special where they've done like, short stories for all 3 of the main books. And the one for this year got canceled on Comixology, so I haven't read it. I'll just have to look that issue up. But they mentioned it in my last issue of G.I. Joe, I think, in the letters column, where they're like, oh, there's a character from... Like, there's a thing here that, like, kind of sets up Mask to be in this universe. And then in this issue, we also get a character from that, because this person shows up, and I'm like, okay, this feels like it's supposed to be someone, but I don't recognize this person. So I had to look it up. And, I guess Mask is going to be a book at some point, whenever they get to that.
About that happening. And I was like, that's great for the 3 people that have ever seen that.
I don't know anything about Mask, but I mean, I'll give it a try. Maybe it'll convert me. Who knows? But it does make me wonder if there are plans, to expand this line into like other different Hasbro things. Because yeah, maybe we'll get the Magic 8 Ball Skybound book. They just announced that Shyamalan's doing a TV show, so who knows?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah.
Austin,
No, I know.
Responded to Nicholas Bodo's comment here. He says,
Yeah.
hopefully Kirkman maintains continuity while having his own identity to Transformers. You don't have to worry about that at all.
No, you don't have to worry about that at all. This book like immediately picks up like seconds after last issue. He's continuing a lot of the little stories from previously, while also like pushing what he wants to do moving forward. And then you get to the end of the letter, or the end of the book, where you get his letter, and you see like more of like his influence on this book as it's gone. That's just been like quietly there, and none of us knew. Where he's talked about like a lot of the big choices so far were things he was like, "Hey, you should do this."
It turns out, even though he wasn't writing that book, it turns out he was responsible for a lot of creative decisions. So, like, his identity was already in it. Like, he's been the showrunner for this universe and that book specifically. Like, he still had his hands on it.
I get the sense from his letter that this is a book he straight up says this, that this is a book he's always wanted to do, but just right now it kind of just didn't make sense. Like, he's got so many things going on that he's doing. So we took like a backseat approach and was like, okay, like I'll let somebody else write it, and then just kept having ideas and was like, oh man, like you should do this. Man, you should do this. And he had like a screenshot in his letter that's like, here are like the initial notes I gave for like things that you should include in the book. And some of it's like really important things, like Optimus's like arm situation where he loses his arm in like the second or third issue. There's like a ton of stuff.
Well, and you said he didn't even want to take over at 25. He's so busy. But he couldn't get Johnson to stay on the book, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. He says in the letter that he kind of settled in and went, you know what, I'm a Transformers fan. I would rather read a Transformers book than have to write one. So I'm fine with that. And then he says, that he had to he was trying to beg Johnson to stay on, but he didn't really want to. And he just was, again, like, I'm too busy to do this. And then they went, well, we got Dan Mora. And he was like, oh, now I'm in. I want to work with Dan Mora.
Considering he's always talked about it like a dream job, it's really interesting to me that when he got the license, he didn't just immediately make himself the writer of that book instead of making up Void Rivals.
Yeah.
Well, he specifically mentions that in his letter where he goes, like at this point in my career, like I want to make new things. So when he got it, he was like, well, I want to make something original in this world as opposed to just jumping straight into Transformers.
That's just the last thing anyone else would have done. Like, no one else on the planet would have thought to do it that way.
No. No, not at all.
You get the Transformers license, you make Transformers.
Yeah, you don't do this weird, like, little sci-fi side story.
And I'm not complaining.
No,
Void
yeah, we
Rivals
like
is
that
great,
movie, yeah.
but that's so counterintuitive to what anyone else would have done.
Mm. No, you'd go, okay, here's the Transformers book, here's the G.I. Joe book. We're doing it.
Yeah.
But it's
that makes
cool
more sense.
seeing some creators right now breathing new life into some of these old ideas, because you're seeing this is not the same thing, but like all of a sudden we've got new characters and new ideas in the Transformers universe, which turns out to be a larger universe. But then you go over to Dynamite, and you've got like new villains for Space Ghost. Suddenly, like we're making up new characters and lore for some of these old things, and it is cool to see that.
Yeah.
Where we're treating them like honest to God comic books and not just nostalgic throwback, and like it still is that to some degree, but it isn't just that. Where we're actually treating we're treating it like a real narrative, where we're pushing forward and like creating instead of just reinventing constantly. And it's nice to see that. IDW did that. That's one of the things I do really like about Tom Waltz's initial Turtles run. There's a lot of new characters in that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, it's interesting to see kind of how they do that, especially with the main like IP books in that world. They don't do a ton of that. So like it is cool that while you're not doing a ton of that in those main ones, you then have like a completely original book with like a whole new aspect to the world.
Yeah.
So really cool that they, were willing to do that.
What else did you have, Austin? Sorry, we're close to 2 hours. We gotta, we gotta get moseying.
Yeah, we gotta move along.
There's so much to do tonight.
Yeah.
You're good. You're all right. I don't mean to rush you, but hurry up.
So, anyways, in Transformers, I think my last book for the week is Absolute Batman 13, which is our shared one. So it keeps throwing me off because we did KO earlier, so I keep going, like I have that to talk about. No, we just did it.
No, we did like half an hour on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was your other one?
Absolute Batman 13.
Okay, which I have not read yet because, like I said at the beginning of the show, I wasn't able to get my hands on it last week, and I've ordered it.
That's
so
right,
it might be a couple weeks before I can even talk about it. So feel free to talk about that.
Oh, was that actually a last week issue?
That was last week. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just had it mixed in with this. I did read it.
Okay,
yeah.
So be as non-spoilery as you can because I haven't read it yet.
That's okay, because not much happens. Absolute Batman 13 exists.
Are you still thinking about dropping it? Because I'm on a high with that book, and you're like it's at the bottom of Absolute, and I don't care anymore.
No, 100%. Then I read this issue, and I was like, I feel like nothing happened this whole issue.
Oh.
I'm like, maybe next issue. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, how was Catwoman?
Huh?
How was Catwoman?
I don't know. I have no opinion on Absolute Catwoman. She's Catwoman.
She's
modern Catwoman.
She just shows up and she has a dome head, and that's about it.
Yeah, and there's like a thing with that where like how she got that specifically.
Oh, okay. Did she go to space? Is she an astronaut? Like, why did she have a dome head?
Yeah, exactly. No, she's basically Sigourney Weaver, an alien.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds awesome.
I know. Yeah, I'd buy that.
Is it a bowling ball? Like, why does she have that?
Well, it's like a spoilery thing. I don't know.
Okay, don't tell me that. Don't tell me.
You said don't spoil it.
I know. I'm just kidding. No, I want you to make up something like it's a bowling ball from space.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, basically that. She's just Pac-Man. She's Mrs. Pac-Man. Bane captured her, and he was like, "Okay, let's see. I made Batman like kind of like me. This one guy is a crocodile. One of them's a penguin man. One I burned half of. This woman, I'm just gonna make her Pac-Man." So, yeah, I don't know. Catwoman's just kind of modern Catwoman, and I don't really like modern Catwoman. So
no, I know you don't. I'm back and forth. It just depends on what we do with her.
No, for sure. But yeah, those are all my issues.
Cool. Well, I'll go through the rest of what I have real quick, but I'll keep you on the line here, Austin, so we can talk news after this, unless you're sick of our faces.
Yeah,
you're ready to get
He's
going.
just tired. He's like, nope, sorry. Gotta keep what we're talking about.
You didn't let me talk more about Transformers. I'm out of here.
Well, I went ahead and bought the second issue of Spider-Man 94, even though the first issue is not that great. And this is degenerating into kind of sucks now. Like I liked the first issue slightly better than everybody else, but now this was just boring. Like there's a bunch of silly kind of like D-list Spider-Man characters that all show up on a team together, and there's like a frog guy that I don't know if it's supposed to be Leapfrog or who that's supposed to be, but it's quippy but not funny. And then Spider-Man finally fights Morlun for a little bit, while Morlun just gives him a bunch of exposition about how he respects him, but still is gonna kill him and feed off of him. And then spoilers: Kraven shows up at the end, who is hunting Morlun, who is hunting Spider-Man. and I don't care. And it continues the problem of sort of looking like that show in places, but being really inconsistent in the art. Some of the faces still look funky, but nothing as weird as that panel from with Peter in the first issue.
He's like a mouse. Yeah.
There is there's set up about I'm just gonna spoil stuff. I don't think anybody's gonna care. There's set up about Aunt May actually knowing that Peter is Spider-Man, which is, I guess, the most interesting thing in it. And then it turns out, and you get this in the first couple pages, that this Kane is just one of many clones that Moreland has been making of himself. And I don't know how that's interesting at all over Kane being Peter Parker clones. Like, instantly it deflated like any interest I had in this version of these characters, and I already didn't have a lot because I don't like Moreland in the first place, and I've always disliked the Spider Totem thing. So like, I didn't want this to be about Moreland and Kane and all of that anyway. And well, I mean, either of those things really. I guess it's fair to say that, like, an obvious thing to do after that show is more Clone Saga stuff, because, like, they kind of touched Clone Saga, but you get Mary Jane back, and then it would maybe make sense that you would do more of it, but it could be more fun and, like, out there and crazy than this is. And so at this point, I'm just buying this because I bought the first issue, and it's only going to be, like, 4 issues, and so, you know, I guess I'll get some, like, okay covers out of it. But it sucks that we had to wait this long to finally do anything else with that show. And frickin' Moreland is what we're doing. It just, I don't know.
Well, it sounds like, not like with this specifically, but it also sounds like editorial kind of tied DeMatteis's hand.
I bet they did. Well, I keep saying that the only thing Marvel's been good at lately is throwback, but not here.
No.
Because I think I've heard him talk about it where people are like, you know, why didn't you make a story about, you know, him finding MJ? That's what we all wanted.
Well, he wasn't allowed to do that.
Yeah, and he was like, well, I wasn't allowed to do that. Editorial, just very clear, like, nope.
Well, if you read the story, you basically get that in a footnote.
Mm-hmm.
After the series, that's what you wanted, too. That's like the one story that fans have been waiting for. I mean, that's the big one.
Yeah, but I'm not going to begrudge him or even editorial over that, to be fair. I don't think that's what this should have been. I just think you could have told any other more interesting story than... Yeah. No, you still want to save that in case they do a cartoon show. Right. Because they've been talking a lot about maybe doing that, and like you said... all anybody wants is that story. Yeah. Don't do it in comics, especially if you get the showrunner back. And, like, he was mad that they were doing anything without him, and I was like, but they're not telling the one story you would want to tell, so I don't know what you're upset about.
Especially with,
I mean, I will begrudge them that just because DeMatteis said he did want to tell that story, and editorial said no, and... if we do eventually bring the show back, I don't think there's any chance they bring back Semper. I could be wrong, but I guarantee they won't.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%. This is the same company that had to go, oh, wait a minute. People like the characters in Netflix Daredevil and are mad that we're getting rid of them immediately? Like, oh... that's weird.
But even if... yeah, except... I wouldn't think about it like that, because they did bring back some of the people that worked on X-Men 97.
But I don't think creatively.
Yeah.
Like, but, like, Bo DeMeo, the, like, head writer and whatnot, and, like, showrunner of that, had nothing to do with that show.
No, he wasn't there, but some of the other writers were.
I knew they brought back a lot of the voice casts, too. I didn't know
Yeah, but they brought back...
Yeah.
I forget who exactly. Yeah. They brought back some people that worked behind the scenes on that show.
Okay.
I thought.
Maybe then. I don't know. I didn't think it had any of that, but I don't really know enough. I just know, you know, the main showrunner.
But even if they didn't do it without... I don't want to get in the weeds with this, but even if they didn't do it without Semper, I don't know what the point would be unless you did that story. And, like, you shouldn't do that in comics if there's any chance they're ever going to do it in a cartoon show. And, like, I guess you could do, like, an alternate version and then they have to do some other version of it when they do the cartoon show. But like, even if that's what DeMatteis wanted to do, like that's not where you do it though.
Yeah, but I don't think it really matters if you, because it's not going to be the same thing. Like I don't think, like you just have this is a writer coming in and going, okay, this is what I want to do with it, and then you just have that again with the cartoon show. I don't know. I think that's fine.
But like when they did kind of a continuation in comics with the X-Men show, they didn't do like the immediate next thing that would happen like the cartoon show did. They kind of jumped around. They kind of went farther in the future. Like this could have done between the raindrop stuff. Like there's all kinds of other stories you could tell. It wouldn't have to be that.
Yeah, no, of course. No, I will begrudge them that just because DeMatteis clearly wanted to, and like I don't think there's any real reason that he couldn't have. But like, does that mean that it's then okay that it kind of sucks with this Moreland stuff? Like, no, not really.
Well, that's the thing is like also DeMatteis is really off his game here. I don't think his writing is very good. So like if it sucks because he's phoning it in, then he shouldn't have taken the job if they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do with it. And so if that's not the case and he's just past his prime and he's not that good right now, then I'm really glad he didn't tell that story. I don't know.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I don't want to throw shade at DeMatteis. I have liked him on stuff, but
No, I'm excited. He's working. He did an episode for that new Batman cartoon.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what that looks like.
And then I've got Kryptonite Spectrum number 3, which Austin hasn't had a chance to read yet, so I won't spoil too much about this. But I mean, this remains
it's okay. I don't mind.
Wild and out there. What's really odd about it is that it comes out the same week as KO, and it opens with a board game. And also, it's Superman and Shazam, and they have a scene in KO together. So it's really weird reading both of these in the same week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Superman on some Kryptonite that at the cliffhanger of last issue turned him into a teenager, and so he's palling around with Shazam, who of course is a teenager. Are you falling asleep?
Nope.
Are you actually falling asleep on
nope,
camera? You would be the first person that's ever actually done that.
Nope, I'm awake.
John's gotten damn close.
If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be John. That doesn't surprise me.
Well, to be fair, 24-hour Smallville streams, man.
Yeah, no, those could be brutal.
But yeah, the best thing about this issue is it's a little bit less wild and out there than the first two. But I really like all the paralleling that we're doing between Superman and Shazam's backgrounds and their feelings about where they initially came from, their feelings about whether they have a home. And so Superman is characterized as, of course, being kind of allergic to his home planet, and so he was raised with a family and with like an actual home, but the place that he came from he can't go back to. And then Shazam, in contrast, it feels like he never had like a place to call home, but he always had a family. And then they get to Batman, and there's even kind of a third interesting parallel with that whole thing. And so I don't know. It's been a couple days since I read this, but read it for yourself. All that was interesting. I just can't really do a lot of analysis with it right here in the moment. And then there is kind of a surprise twist with what Rainbow Kryptonite turns out to be. And that it's not actually real kryptonite, and it's something else entirely, which sets up a thing that I'm surprised I didn't expect them to do in this, but like, of course it's going where it's going.
Yeah.
Because these guys aren't going to not tackle the part of Superman lore that they're about to in the next issue. So I won't spoil what that is, but like, of course they're doing that.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's pretty exciting.
I was gonna say it's they do it on Superman, it has no effect, and he's like, oh, I guess it doesn't do anything, and then he turns around and you have Rainbow Batman.
Oh, that would have been pretty great.
Bring it full circle there, Silver Age full circle.
No, at first,
Yeah, exactly.
Superman's like, okay, we're finally gonna put an embargo on this whole testing kryptonite thing. I'm like, you shouldn't have done this in the first place.
Yeah.
It's such a bad idea. And then Batman's like, too late. I figured out what rainbow kryptonite is, and we've got to deal with this thing now. And so that'll be fun and interesting. I don't know if this is just 4 issues. It's that read like it was
sure.
setting up the last issue, but since we're out of kryptonite, I would think it would have to be. I would think because you have four new colors of kryptonite. I would think each issue is one color.
You think that?
But you could have a big finale that's just Lex Luthor throwing down. I guess.
I was gonna say that I could see that with 5.
Oh, and we have
I'm
a
not
fun
sure.
team up with Toyman and Dr. Savannah, which is kind of fun. So like they treat this like a kind of classic team up issue, which is kind of neat. Where like the villains team up to.
I've been catch up on that too, and I really didn't get to issue 3 because I loved what I've read so far too.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
And just real classic and
Yeah.
fresh all at the same time. And then the last thing I actually read for this week is Captain Planet number 6. Which ends the first story arc for this. It kind of reads like a mini-series by the end. It's sort of surprising this is even continuing with as much Captain Planet lore and villains as it shoves into the first arc. Prevost is kind of doing the same thing he did with Space Ghost, where he's got to get everything in there. And I wonder if he'll start making up villains with this like he has been doing with Space Ghost.
Yeah.
I finally read issue 3 of this, and that I think was a new made-up villain too. He did a Viking in Space Ghost, and I was like, aren't we in a universe that doesn't have an Earth? Or if it does, they don't know about Earth, but they know what Vikings are?
Well, Vikings are.
That's
yes.
kind of weird.
Such a universal concept.
But that was fun. Anyway, I don't need to talk about that. That was from a couple weeks ago. It's not their best issue so far in the new run, but I mean it's solid. It's a lot of fun. It looks like they might be setting up some kind of a time travel villain. But anyway, this was just okay. I did not love the way this wrapped up, and I won't talk too much about this. But I don't know. I guess I expect some sappiness from Captain Planet, but like it hasn't been as sappy as you would expect. And then the way it wraps is I don't know, maybe a little easy, and I don't love the way they finally deal with Gaia and stuff by the end of it, but it's okay. It's kind of odd that they establish so many of the villains, and then when you get to the end of this, they're dealing with just Plunder, who becomes Captain Pollution by himself, and they do this like teamwork thing versus one arrogant asshole with superpowers. And I talked about that last time with this book, but that whole thing is cool and classic for Saturday morning cartoon stuff, I guess. But then you've also got Blight in the background doing kind of some evil stuff, but she doesn't get very much to do, and we keep cutting to her, and I kept waiting for her big moment, and it never came. And I'm like, maybe we're setting up stuff for her
next arc,
for later, I guess. But you'd think you would have had Chris like some kind of big surprise thing at the very end, like an epilogue that's like, here's what she's really doing, and then just nothing, like none of that.
She's working on it. Come back later.
But like we have the team of Planeteers by the end of this finally kind of agreeing to stay together and all keep doing the Captain Planet thing. And the way it reads at the end, it's like, and then they went on to further adventures, and I'm like, I actually had to look up whether this is a miniseries, because it really reads like it's not going to keep going.
Right.
And then apparently it does, so I don't know, that was weird. And then I got Dark Patterns 11, but I'm not caught up, so I've not read that yet. Every cover for this book, though, is freaking wonderful. I also haven't read...
and it also is a book... Sorry, I was just going to say it's also, like, every arc's getting better and better, so I hope that continues with that.
And then it's going to be done after 12. I think they should extend it, but...
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to say. It might have to just become its own book, because I feel like it's... like starting to connect little things that are like going through each story.
Yeah, I know. That's
but I don't
why
know
think
if that will all like cap out with this new one.
I'll be surprised if I don't get to the end of that and go, yeah, you could have kept that going. But I don't know. Maybe not. And then I've not been reading Thundercats Powerpuff Girls, but I've been buying it because I collect Powerpuff Girls. So at some point I will read this. And I'll have no idea what the hell I'm looking at with the Thundercats side because I've never watched that. But it's got Powerpuff Girls on the covers, so I've been buying those. This is a variant with Bubbles, which is okay. But I got the Bubbles one because I like Bubbles. Okay, and then I'll go through some back issues that I got this last week. The first thing, I got this in the mail. I ordered this a couple weeks ago. And this is an original sketch cover that's really unusual. I don't have anything like this in my collection. And it was a good deal on eBay, so I had to get my hands on it. And it is as cool in person as I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
So this is a sketch cover for Spawn 329. Who gives a crap about what's inside the book? I've not read it. I may never actually read it. It's all about the sketch cover. So what this is... it's not... So this is one of a kind. Somebody... Like, he didn't sign it. I don't know who this is. But somebody painted or did colored pencils for this background. I'm not sure which. And so the actual cover is just this fiery, hellish background. And then the Spawn is an overlay that's supposed to be like an animation cell. And so it goes over the front of it. And I could take this and put it in front of any other book, which is kind of fun. But I don't know why more people don't do these. This is a thing I would buy more of. I think that is super cool. And so, of course, you have to put this in a bag and a board for this to, sit on it. But this was, like I said, I got a really good deal on this. And paid actually less than I usually do for sketch covers. To get this cool overlay thing on top of what is actually technically a sketch cover by itself. So anyway, that was really super neat. And then just some random gap filling I did this week. Bought an issue of Gotham City Sirens that I was missing, 17. Bought an issue of stupid Doomsday Clock that I was missing because I've got most of this. I know, but like I'm only missing 3 issues. I might as well finish it.
Sometimes you just need to suffer.
I like doing things that just make Austin squirm when he's on camera. That makes me happy.
That is now officially the second time I've had to acknowledge that exists today, where KO dances around that in one panel.
Oh yeah, because it refuses to mention that Dr. Manhattan created the New 52 universe.
Yeah, it just says a being made the New 52.
Wink, wink.
So good. And then here's a random issue of Spider-Man that I just thought was a good cover. That's 27. And then my dad found me an issue of World's Finest. I'm surprised by how many of these I have, Chris. I've got like 25. I don't remember buying any of these. I own 25 issues of the old World's Finest series. And my dad got me, found me, I should say. I mean, I paid him for it, but my dad's in the junk business. He finds me comics every now and again. This is 276. It's in nice shape. It's like an $8 or $10 comic. I think I paid like $3. But it's a cover that apparently my stepmom had. And she mentioned that when I got this. This is the old Double X. And then later in the 90s, there's a character, an unrelated Superman character that is not a villain named Double X. But this is the original Double X. I didn't even know he existed. And so he has a really stupid looking costume. And he's got 2 X's connected to each other that you wouldn't even think were X's. It just looks like a pattern.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, his name is Double X. Those are X's.
That's how you know. That's how you know he's Double X.
All right. Anyway, I'm finally done talking about new comics. Austin, let's do...
I also looked up... No, I was just going to say, I also looked up Kryptonite Spectrum, and it is 5 issues.
It is 5. Okay, so issue 5 will be a big throwdown.
It'll be some big finale.
Yeah, cool. I was surprised that the end of 3 didn't say to be concluded. It just said to be continued, so I figured maybe there was one more.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about New York City Comic Con news. There's really just the things that I mentioned that we can elaborate on a little bit. But let's start while I'm still thinking about it, Austin, with the announcement, which is, to me, more of a confirmation that I don't understand why Marvel didn't make a lot earlier, that the Ultimate Universe is, in fact, ending. They've got a big event. We're finally doing the Maker stuff that we've been building to this whole time.
Yeah.
And they're calling that Ultimate End, and people still weren't sure if the actual Ultimate Universe was ending. Nobody trusted that title, and there wasn't any real reason to.
Right.
It turns out that Hickman had always intended the new Ultimate Universe to just be a couple of years, and that it was supposed to be this whole self-contained thing that would trade really nicely, and that it would be a finite thing that you could sell after this is just one big story, or at least one continuity with a bunch of stories connected to it. I think mileage has varied real hard on the offshoots, past Ultimate Avengers and Ultimate Spider-Man. Chris, you gonna make it?
I'm good. I'm good.
Chris is gonna make it through the show.
I'm good. I'm hanging in there.
He's just falling asleep over here.
I'm good. I'm alive.
But Austin, I think they should have made it clearer a lot earlier what exactly they were doing with this, because a lot of people responding to this like, Marvel's insane. They're total idiots. They're ending their the only thing that is selling for them right now, and I think it's making them look really bad.
No, for sure. I also think just with what you were just saying, here's this contained thing you can sell as graphic novels, moving forward. I also think if it were something like the original Ultimate, that would make more sense, because you also have decades worth of comic history that leads into this. It's I also feel like it's kind of awkward for that. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
If it was a completely unrelated thing that had nothing to do with the old Ultimate and it wasn't called that.
No, and being so connected to the Maker, all of that stuff. There's so much comic history that goes into this. It's really not a self-contained 24 issues, because most of them are ending at 24. It's all 24, and then Wolverine is 16, I think.
Apparently their end game with this is to use it as sort of a way to soft reboot 616. And not in changing the continuity or anything. They could have done that. They could have used this as a way to full-on finally reboot, which I think a lot of fans actually kind of want at this point. Weirdly, just because people have not been appreciating what they've been doing lately. Although, regardless of what you do, you kind of gotta fire everybody and start over. They need some new blood over there.
It needs to be a post-crisis DC where it's you also bring in a ton of talent to take over.
It doesn't work if it's just the stable of who they've got right now. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's something Marvel's been real hesitant to do for pretty much its entire existence, too, at least since,
Well, and then Secret Wars finally did it, and then it like totally turned tail and was trepidation and just didn't actually like it technically was a reboot. Nothing changed.
No, yeah, you just went back to like the 616. Like people forgot that was supposed to be a new universe.
They retconned Miles in Ultimate and made him in 616. That was almost literally the only difference.
Yeah.
It's like the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths, where it just exists to bring Supergirl over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, which was pointless that late in the game with that whole thing. But
because like all the shows got canceled like the next year too.
Well, they already had found, not talking about that too long, but they already had found lots of excuses to cross her through multiverse.
Yeah.
So, like, they didn't need that to suddenly be in the same continuity. They'd already done, like, 4 seasons of her show that way.
Yeah.
But then they're probably like, oh man, it's so annoying. We have to keep coming up with reasons for her to go over there.
But I don't think she crossed in the other shows that much after that.
Well, no, because they all started grumbling.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They didn't last too much long after.
So, I think the whole plan for this is a gigantic misstep and will not work. I get stuff wrong all the time. We'll see if somehow this is successful. Spoiler alert, it won't be. I don't see how it possibly could. So, what apparently they're doing is so the Ultimate Universe is going to end, but they're going to use it to springboard yet another new initiative in 616. Have you heard about this?
I don't think so, no.
So, you remember the, like, superpower kits that they have starting with Ultimate Spider-Man, where different characters in that universe that are supposed to become superheroes just instantly get their powers and their backstory, like they learn about their backstories and everything. They open the thing up and they get their power set.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Miles Morales in 616 is supposed to somehow, for some reason, get his hands on those and scatter them around 616.
Okay, yeah.
And so after the Ultimate Universe ends, all of these new random made-up characters will get power sets of the characters we know already, and they'll get their own series, and that's supposed to freshen up the whole thing and make people care more. It didn't work with Future State at DC. Why would it work here? And also, Marvel has done tons of and of course they're making a big deal out of it's a new diverse set of characters. It's like, look, you've already done like your Asian Hulk and your like You've been doing this and nobody's cared. Or at least not enough people have cared. And so they're like, well, yeah, but we're not actually replacing anybody, see? It's gonna be... So what it sounds like is I hope somehow none of this ends up being true. This is what I've read. That apparently this is where it's all supposed to be going. I hope it's nonsense, but that's apparently what they're doing. What it sounds like, Austin, is an excuse to do Miles Morales, but everywhere. So you can have, like, I'm complaining already about stuff like Miles where he can't have his own name. He's got to be Spider-Man also, which is just awkward and confusing. It sounds like we're probably going to do that with everything. Where you'll have, like, the multiple Iron Mans and the multiple Hulks and I think we're gonna do this with everybody. And
when everyone is somebody, I'm not buying any more of your books.
So, can you imagine if that was the point of this new Ultimate Universe all along?
That would be really embarrassing. Hopefully that is not true, but I buy it.
I mean, I'm not going to buy it, but I buy that they would do it. Yes. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that whole thing. The idea of a self-contained universe that had a beginning, middle, and end, and all roads from the beginning were clearly leading to the maker has been stewing and planning for all this time, and how in the world could we possibly beat him when he shows up, and the ticking time bomb. I love all of that. All of that was a great idea. and they weren't transparent enough with what they were doing with it, and so and the other thing is they're not self-aware, and so they don't understand that a lot of the reason some of the Ultimate books have been doing pretty well is because it's an alternative to all the crap they're doing. Nobody likes their regular stuff.
Yeah.
That's why people want the Ultimate to keep going.
Yeah.
And a lot of us thought that that because that stuff was selling well, they would change their minds and they would extend it. But of course they're not doing that because they don't care about making money, I guess. Like everything they do is counterintuitive and bizarre.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have no idea. I mean, I can't complain. Like, I don't care about the new Ultimate. Like,
yeah.
But
just from a business standpoint, though,
it's just bizarre.
It's the only thing that's selling. Well, and like I lost interest in Ultimate Avengers, so like I don't really care that much about that Ultimate line either. But like what I read of Ultimate Wolverine was cool, and I've only read the first issue of Spider-Man, but it's really good.
Yeah.
And I will read the rest of it eventually.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I don't really have any interest in any of the Ultimate books, but maybe at some point, I'll check it out.
I mean, the little bits we've read, I mean, they have been good, but like it's not.
But
like,
I haven't been sucked in like I did with Absolute.
Absolute, yeah, Absolute was such in its own tier, such its own level. That's hard for pretty much anything else to keep up too.
Yeah, well, Ultimate or Absolute, I feel like, in a way, it's a like Just Imagine mixed with the original Ultimate, where like it's also a very easy starting place for people. So you also have that,
right?
I'm gonna just to cite my sources. I'm gonna find the channel that I watched a video breaking that whole thing down, so that if it turns out to be nonsense, we can blame that channel. But I got to find that. Anyway, Austin, what other news do we need to talk about, man?
Joshua Williamson is taking over Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about, but it's like excited about with an asterisk.
Okay, what's the asterisk? It's Marvel.
No, so on one, not even with that. So on one hand, I do hope it is more rebooty and that I don't have to deal with Tony Stark being married to Emma Frost when that book starts.
Seriously.
And the other big one, which I would say is
that won't happen.
Yeah.
Is more so is that makes me think that he's probably going to leave Superman soon, and I'm worried that they will replace him with Slott.
Why do you think that?
Because Superman Unlimited, which is Slott's book, is selling really well.
That's true.
And I did not have that thought until today.
That's a good point.
Is
that? I didn't realize that book was actually selling well.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's funny that everything Superman is dealing with kryptonite right now. 'Cause that's another really heavy kryptonite book.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember when it started, he was like, okay, I got Superman, and there's a kryptonite cave, and that is all I know about his Superman.
Okay, the channel I got that information from is Comical Opinions.
Oh, okay, I've never heard of that.
No.
Yeah, not a big channel, but he does good work. I've just started to listen to him recently. And yeah, he gets into the whole soft reboot for 616 thing. But he doesn't cite an article for it either. But I have not run into this guy just making up crap anywhere else. Like his information's always been pretty solid. So.
Yeah. Which a lot of times in online comics journals can be pretty hit or miss.
Well, that also just seems like a weird thing to make up.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like journalism's pretty bad, but then it's like the main journalism, then movie journalism, then video game journalism, then comic journalism.
Yeah.
Like it's like a whole Yeah.
It's kind of a race to the bottom.
It was down and down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are we putting video game journalism or over comic journalism? I don't know if I would
I had
do
to think.
that.
I had to think about it for a second. I feel like I will put video game over it just for the fact that when you asked me what Comic-Con news came out, I looked up, like New York Comic-Con comic book announcements.
Yeah.
And every single one was like, Marvel announced this TV show. And I'm like, I can't even find anybody just talking about what was announced for comic book news.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think
I was like, I feel like I'll put video game one step above it, but
it's actually talking about games. Yeah.
I think it's also
they actually talk about games.
I think it's also important to note that a lot of bad comics journalism comes from video game journalism sources.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like IGN does comic reviews
stuff. Yeah.
No, I mean it's all just bad. Like I said, they're all at the bottom. I don't know, Cab. Give me a freaking break here.
No. Anyway, so Vertigo is coming back, and I'll read some of the new titles that they've unveiled. I'm surprised by just how many things they're already telling us about Austin. It's a big slate. Have you looked at some of this?
Just like a quick glance.
So this list that I'm looking at here is from Gizmodo. So there's a series called Bleeding Hearts that they're doing with Denise Camp and somebody named Sipin Morian, who's an artist I don't know.
Yeah.
A zombie named Poke, who realizes his heart started beating again. Don't you hate it when that happens?
Yeah.
End of Life. Kylie Starks and Steve Poog, a renowned hitman, returns to his hometown in the Midwest to take care of his dying father. That sounds riveting.
Well, here's the thing. It's a Kyle Starks.
I was gonna say that actually sounds kind of neat.
Here's the thing. It's a Kyle Starks too, and like Kyle Starks again. He's the guy that did the vampire basketball book.
Oh yeah, he told me about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm at least willing to. He has like another book. It's like the Monsters at the End of the Land, something like that. That's about a housing development for like slasher movie villains too.
Oh, cool.
That's great.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, more times than not, if Kyle Stark's on a book, I will at least stop it. Like, yeah, I need this.
No, I only said that because I'm surprised to see a Vertigo book like that doesn't immediately have any clear supernatural component to it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, it's just a hitman doing a thing? Like,
right.
All right, that's kind of surprising. Black Tower, The Raven Conspiracy. I don't know if that's a follow-up to something, but that's Ram V with Mike Perkins. Wizard Spies in the UK battle over sorcery in a global Cold War.
Nice.
And then something called The Peril of the Brutal Dark, an Ezra Kane mystery. So that might be an ongoing thing where there's somebody named Ezra Kane.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Thank God it's not Ezra Miller.
Chris Condon with Jacob Phillips. Magic, fascism, and a stolen artifact of unimaginable power meet a noir detective story. Let's just throw a bunch of stuff together. And then
that sounds cool though.
Yeah, I agree.
And then there's a new sequel to 100 Bullets called The U.S. of Anger with Azarello and Eduardo Risso. Something called Fanatic. Grace Ellis and Hannah Templar. A woman obsessed with a comic book turns her fixation onto its creator. Oh, okay, so it's Misery, but with comics.
Misery.
Yeah. Good. I'll read that.
Yeah.
Misery's cool. I'll read that.
Misery's good. A walking and I have a lot of respect for the fact that it's not like another This Meets This. Like, it's just Misery with comics. It's not like plus basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was gonna say it's a big time for Misery because that new Sam Raimi movie got a trailer and they're describing it as Misery meets Castaway, and then you were like, "Oh, thank God it's not meets something else."
Yeah, I know. Take that, Sam Raimi.
Yeah, get out of here.
I'm just saying that because so much of this stuff has been if this thing meets this.
No. I'm saying get out of here, Sam Raimi. You're good.
A Walking Shadow. Simon Spurrier and Aaron Campbell. 8 strangers wake up chained to a boat in the middle of the woods with no memory of how or why they're there.
So
that sounds like my kind of party.
I was gonna say we've had our Sam Raimi. Now we've got like our late era Hitchcock. You know.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a neat book.
Yeah.
And then we have The Crying Doll, Mariko Tamaki and
Yeah.
Rosemary Valero O'Connell, a Jekyll Hyde thriller about a young woman protecting her best friend who may be killing people. Oh, maybe killing people.
It might be.
And finally, Necretaceous, which is just a kick-ass sounding title. Necretaceous. Tom Taylor with Derek Robertson. To stop a zombie virus, scientists time travel to 66 million years in the past when dinosaurs roamed the earth. And I immediately said, sign me the hell up for that. That's the one I will definitely try out of that list.
Yeah, there's quite a few in there that I'd at least sample, or
I
at least look to see what it looks like, and then go from there.
I'm not off by any of them at all. I mean,
Yeah.
some like even the ones that have a real basic plot, like the hitman seeing his dying father, still has the guy who wrote and drew the vampire basketball comic I really liked.
Yeah, I mean, then it's about creators.
Yeah.
My big takeaway from this list is they want to compete with what Image is doing right now hard. And they probably wish they had never canceled the Vertigo line for Black Label. In fact, it kind of doesn't make sense they ever did that. They should have... I mean, DC's never going to have straight-up creator-owned books, but just original concepts created by, big-time people that readers like, coming in and doing their own thing. Like Image has cornered the market on that stuff, and they replacing it with Black Label never made any sense because Black Label is all properties they have already. So it's like, where do you even take brand? Maybe there's a few made up things at Black Label, but everything I remember seeing is all stuff I've heard of.
Yeah,
it's your Constantines and your Resurrection Mans and your and a lot of Batman and they'll do obscure stuff, but it's still pre-existed.
You're not going to have 100 bullets over at Black Label. You're not going to have your books of magic. I mean, you might, but it wouldn't be
American Vampire.
Yeah, you're not going to have like Preacher over at Black Label.
So, from my understanding, is I think because after Image and whatnot happened, and really took off, we just hit a certain point where it didn't really make any sense to take that stuff to Vertigo. Just you weren't getting good deals on it, and they were just kind of losing out on stuff. And DC, I think, eventually just threw up their hands and went, "Okay, let's get rid of this. Like, we don't really need it anymore." And then now, obviously, they're coming back to compete. So hopefully, whatever the case is behind the scenes with that, it's a lot better. But I know. Because with Black Label, there was The Nice House on the Lake, which is an original horror book by Tinian. And that book's really good. I liked it quite a bit. But that's the first Vertigo one, is they made a sequel called The Nice House by the Sea. And that's the first one kind of retroactively, and that they announced Vertigo's coming back when it's like 3 issues in. So it's like at a certain point it becomes Vertigo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also kind of what the first wave of Vertigo books did too. Like Sandman was just a DC book that they just eventually put. I think Animal Man was kind of the same way too.
Exactly.
What I'm wondering is if they might actually have better contracts, and they're giving their creators, these creators, full rights to their material, because I don't, on decent page rates, because I don't know why you would take that stuff, like any of these premises, to DC right now over Image.
Yeah, because I know Mark Millar's talked about that with, I forget what book it was he did, but Marvel used to have that, where it's like, okay, you're working for us, here is like this other line that you can kind of take an original idea where you get to keep it.
Was it Epic?
It was Epic, thank you.
Right.
I couldn't remember the name.
Which, ironically, Millar kind of killed with with Trouble.
With Trouble, yeah.
Trouble, yeah.
We love Trouble. It's a great book.
But that is a bold stance, sir. That is a bold... I think most people look at the covers of Trouble and be like, "Oh, how old are those kids?" I'm good. Nope.
I didn't hear about that until last week. Austin told me about that. I was like, oh my god, that sounds awful.
Well, the best thing about Trouble 2 is that I forget which one's which, but Aunt May and Mary Parker are both designed to look exactly like Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane.
Oh yeah,
so like there's like another weird level to it.
There's even a scene where whichever one is supposed to look like Mary Jane is like naked with a sheet over herself, holding a condom, saying, "Face it, Tiger! You just hit the jackpot." That is a book that exists, and
I just want everyone to know that I always reserve the right to veto requests.
Yes, let me please.
Okay,
please don't. If you're thinking of some big trouble,
if
don't.
If you pick that, I'm not reviewing that.
No, we will politely decline.
And if I can say anything to Mark Millar, she should have said that after the fact. That would have made more sense. But
yeah.
Anyways, hopefully that's what Vertigo can be now, where it's like, okay, you're writing Batman, like you have this other idea, like you can print it here, and we will take care of that. You can do that, but you're also doing stuff for us.
Yeah.
Scratch our back, we scratch yours,
and then you actually
that would be nice.
Retain your rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you'll have writers and artists that would want to work for you, where they can do their creator-owned stuff.
That's why you really got to wonder what those contracts look like.
Yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
And to be fair, that list is mostly a lot of people that have done work for them recently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I mean, as much as I've been gushing
but
about Kyle
I think
Starks,
some of them are also people that have done creator-owned stuff recently at other houses. So, like, they have to have offered them something decent. I don't know why you wouldn't just take some of that over to Image.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I know we've actually talked before, too, about how Marvel and DC are both bleeding talent. A lot of creators, everyone from, like, Jeff Johns to I mean, even like Zdarsky's at least got his toe in the indies still, and everybody's going doing their own creator work, and they're not doing as much with the big two anymore too. And like Teenie Howard, who was on some of the X-Men books, just announced like she's got her first creator-owned book in like 5 to 10 years or something like that.
I just can't wait to see Marvel attempt this and completely botch it.
And somehow make it worse.
Say again.
And just somehow make it worse.
Yeah. They will try something like this and it'll be completely half-baked and like
they'll start with Trouble 2.
Absolutely heartless and well, because that's what they did. I can't remember what it's called, but that's what they did with those like manga-sized re-releases that DC had huge success with.
Oh,
and then Marvel's like, oh, I guess that's the big ticket now, so people are expecting us to do that. And then they picked like the worst possible titles to do that with, and the releases weren't good. Nobody bought them.
Yeah,
they're more expensive.
Yeah.
They were too expensive. They'll do the same thing with Dez.
Mm-hmm.
You just watch.
Yep.
Well, it's funny too because you could probably make the argument that Black Label was more like Max than it was like Vertigo too, where Max was,
that's true.
Yeah, Max was like their mature label, but that was like the Punisher, and I mean for a while it was just like the Punisher.
And then Austin, when DC comes in and looks like they sort of rip off Marvel in doing their Ultimate, it's way better and like brings people back into comic shops and helps revitalize the industry.
Yeah.
Like the one time in a long time they look at Marvel and go, we should probably do that too. They just murder them with it.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, for 20 years...
And I don't mean to sing the praises of DC too hard. It's not like everything they do is great either.
Right.
And they've only just recently come back in a way where I've cared about them. But, like, I'm just saying, it's this simple. DC is doing things right.
Yeah.
Some things right. And Marvel's doing very few things right. That's all I'm saying.
I also just feel like, product aside, like, I feel like DC is being a lot more friendly to talent, and they've been able to keep a better pool of that, and I think part of it is also just allowing people to do other things too. on top of it.
We're gonna need to move on.
Yeah.
It's getting late.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we've got to review another book later, and I gotta see if I can keep this guy awake so we can do that.
I'm still alive. I'm back, everyone. We're good.
I'm sorry, what, Austin?
Well, speaking of things and creator-owned, you also have Swamp Thing is going to Image with that crossover with Something's Killing the Children, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Swamp Thing is Killing the Children, which is fantastic as your crossover title.
Yes.
They should do
but yeah.
Mars attacks Swamp Thing while he's killing the children.
The Martians are like, "Hey, stop killing the children.
Yeah.
We want to kill them.
Swamp Thing."
No, stop it! You're taking all the children we want to kill.
Yeah.
Let us kill the children.
Swamp Thing
That's
has
Freddy
like a
versus
Swamp Thing has
Jason,
like a
yeah.
5-year-old. A Martian walks up and goes, ah.
Okay, can I add one more thing to it? Can I just keep
Yeah.
elongating this list? It's Mars attacks Swamp Thing as he's killing the children of the corn.
Oh.
Of the Planet of the Apes.
Of the Planet of the Apes.
Wait.
Lives.
Exclamation point. Perfect.
Yes.
There we go.
That's so good. Nicholas Bodo just wrote, that sounds really intriguing, but I want to imagine he waited to write that until the end of the title we just suggested. That sounds very intriguing.
I agree. One, in all seriousness, that's an indie book I've been wanting to try out for a long time. So, doing the Swamp Thing book does have me kind of itching to jump into that.
And that's a book that I've heard like nothing but great things about. It always pops up on like recommendation lists and top 10 lists, but it's just not anything I've actually really had time to sit down and get familiar with.
Senior Sticks
Yeah.
put in $2 super chat, just says, can we get a comic based on Meet the Parents? No.
What about if it's Meet the Parents,
Mars
but like
attack-
also Misery? And
Mars attacks the parents. It's just like Robert De Niro fighting, a guy with a giant brain.
Mars attacks Swamp Thing while he's killing the children as of the corn, as of the Planet of the Apes, as they meet the parents. Lives!
Exclamation mark. Question mark.
We make the best crossovers.
We do.
Okay.
Damn straight.
Austin, thanks for staying late, man.
Yeah, no worries. That's the last of the comic news.
That's all the stuff I want to talk about.
That's all the comic news that happened this week.
There's probably some other stuff.
Sounds good.
We got to move on. We don't have time for anything else.
Yeah, exactly. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.
Thanks, Austin. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yes.
That Austin. He does good work. Okay. Let's move on now to our cover of the week.
Yes,
Chris.
Cover of the week.
Chris, you're gonna have to get more enthusiastic. You gotta
cover of the week.
There you go. We're waking up, Chris.
That's right. We're waking up. I have to.
All right, so here comes our cover of the week, which this time is. Hold on, I gotta get rid of.
Oh yeah,
I gotta get rid of things. We've got all kinds of problems here. Hang
look, just too many cameras.
There it goes.
All right.
Too many cameras.
Too many cameras.
It's Superman Wonder Woman #8. This goes back to 2014. Charles Soule and Tony Daniel art.
Yeah.
This was a series that I was kind of surprised I found myself buying when it was coming out. I bought this whole run.
Yeah.
But I've only read the first maybe half of it, maybe a little less. So at some point, when I went in digging this out, I wanted to see how many issues this was, and I didn't miss anything. I own 29.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna assume it's that long, and there wasn't any after that. I don't know why I would have stopped. Yeah. I should look that up, but it's probably around 29.
Yeah.
I remember liking this romance dynamic better than I expected to, and just liking that New 52 was actually
trying different things,
mixing stuff up and really doing the reboot thing. Reading this issue, it seems like there's maybe gonna be a love triangle brewing with Lois that I didn't remember.
Yeah.
It's like they've got her there doing things to say, like, she's either we know she's supposed to be Superman's soulmate, or you're supposed to think that they're going to go there and then we'll do something crazy with her at some point.
Yeah.
But she's like kind of lurking to make you wonder what in the world they're going to do with her.
Right.
Had you ever read any of this?
I haven't read any of this. Like, I read I read Action. I read the one Brian Azzarello's Wonder Woman when the New 52, but I hadn't read the actual crossover. Well, not really crossover, but I gotta say, like, some of the actual like horror elements too, where Superman is starting to turn into Doomsday. I thought that was super effective too. I really enjoy a lot of that. But yeah, it's
such a goofy premise.
Yeah.
And it gets worse.
Right.
Because, well, can I backtrack for a second?
Yes.
What was confusing going back to this, because it's been over a decade, is I don't remember how Doomsday is introduced in this.
Right.
And I remember there's something in New 52, I want to say or maybe it is this book, that actually introduces Doomsday.
Yeah.
But we know that they've retconned Death of Superman from New 52. There's that first issue of Swamp Thing that references it, and then after that they totally retcon it where it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then it isn't until Jurgens brings the old Superman from the old universe into this where Death of Superman starts to exist and matter again, but only from the previous universe.
Yeah.
And then finally with Rebirth we say all of it happened. Well,
Right.
actually, even I think before that, because Jurgens' run is weird because you remember this? He resets the Superman universe back to the previous continuity before the rest of DC does it.
Yeah, it
was very bizarre.
So that was a weird thing too with the New 52, where they wanted to do like a full reboot, but they didn't. Like,
sorry, Austin just wrote, "Hey, it's the New 52. That book was created by that being."
The being. Oh yeah. Well, it's funny too because, the New 52, everything that happened to Green Lantern happened that continuity.
Right.
Killing Joke. I
know. They did all the bubble stuff with Batman. And we've talked about this a lot on the channel before. But the point I'm making is they had been crystal clear about what they had retconned away with Superman and what they hadn't. And then later they just reset the whole thing and brought back the old continuity. And Jurgens basically said, my Superman is the real Superman. And yours isn't. And I killed him off. And I kind of couldn't even argue with him is the thing. But what was curious is the beginning of this issue. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just got to.
No, you're good. You're good.
The beginning of this issue establishes Doomsday's resurgence.
Right.
It's like he came back, or is the idea that just Superman has like fought him a couple times in different places in this arc? I wasn't really sure because it's been too long since I read this, but I thought this was supposed to be the first time he's dealt with Doomsday, and then this time around we say. In order to beat Doomsday, he does the self-sacrifice thing where he sucks in a bunch of like Doomsday spores. And then now, as a consequence of that, because he did the altruistic thing, he's now turning into Doomsday. It's kind of an interesting idea. But I feel like it's better as a sequel to Death of Superman. It's weird if Death of Superman never happened.
Oh yeah, exactly. And reading this in isolation, I think made it a better read for me.
You think so?
I think so, yeah, because it's just a story about like Superman turning into a monster.
Yeah, sure.
And when you take it like that face value, it's like, okay, yeah, I could get behind that.
If you don't even think about the Doomsday thing
don't even think about the Doomsday thing, don't even think about where it falls in the timeline. It's just like a nice... If you approach it, even like there's a little bit like just stuff like expository dialogue where you can kind of get what's going on. You can kind of get like some of a grounding, but not enough to really bog you down with whatever was actually going on in the book. So I think if you just take it on its own, it works.
I do really like the self-sacrifice angle.
Yeah.
Like, I like that he's turning into a monster because he did the Superman thing.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And then it's turning him into the opposite of who he is that leads him to that.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of like Superman on Red Kryptonite times 100.
Yes.
Where it's showing like the worst possible side of him.
Yeah.
But it's not even really the dark side of Superman. It's this actual monster that is slowly possessing him.
Yeah.
And making him say all the horrible things and do all the horrible things that Superman never would.
Yeah.
What makes it hard to take seriously is that after this issue, when he fully transforms, they will call him Super Doom. And I just could never get around how freaking dumb that sounds.
Yes.
I also, within this issue,
right,
I have a hard time dealing with the, like, permanent plastic X.
Oh, yeah, that does.
That's in the middle of his chest. And then when he reverts back from Doomsday into looking like Superman, he
shirtless just with that S, yeah.
And it's so dumb.
Yeah, that's like, okay, why? Why would you do that? So
it's really silly.
Yeah, it's. I was just looking at that page, like, all right, that's there. I don't know why it's there, but there it is.
Yeah, it's really, and I like hokey comic book stuff.
Yeah.
But everybody's got a line, and that's my line.
Yeah, no, I can't blame you there.
That one's goofy.
But yeah, I think, like, that aside, reading this just as like a one shot, just as like a self-contained story, I think it works a lot better than it sounds like.
And I mean, it's not. It's right in the middle of stuff.
Yeah,
but...
and that's the thing too. Like, it sounds, just from what you've described and what it seemed like from the rest of the book, the more putting it in context makes it worse. Like,
did Morrison do the action, the Super Doom thing, John? Oh, that's right.
There was
like between books.
There was a thing too in All Star that he turns into like a Bizarro type thing too.
No, that's not what he's talking about, though. He's talking about action.
Okay.
The actual Super Doom name with this. I forgot that this crosses between books. So this isn't just Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The very next issue that this sets up is in a different book. I forgot that this is not an event, but the story arc goes between titles.
Yeah, and like
I forgot all about that.
Well, also too, like when Action first started, it was the prequel book. It was like 5 years before. And I know that ended up being an issue because editorial wasn't like.
No, I know they catch up at some point.
Yeah, so
this page was cool in reading it in the actual physical issue because it's vertical, so this is flipped. You have to turn the page.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
In digital, they flipped it this way so that you don't have to like turn your screen or whatever.
Yeah, if you've got like a phone or an iPad or something.
But this is actually what it is.
Okay,
in the issue, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
I like Tony Daniel typically.
Yeah.
I think the art in this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, again, it kind of... I do like how Batman just sort of shows up, and then it's like, hey, Batman, leave. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Go evacuate this building. Like, okay, I'm doing that.
Well, and he's giving... as he's transforming into Super Doom, he's giving... Batman a lot of crap, and then I didn't actually expect him to show up in the issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just trying to help out.
Mm. And yeah, a lot of like the dialogue too, with where it's like Superman saying the worst things he could possibly say, like Batman's jealous of us.
Yeah.
I mean, some of that was kind of
there's some kind of CW writing in this.
It's
also overly wordy.
Yeah,
like there's too much dialogue. It's funny because like I'm mostly pointing out negatives. This was fun to go back to, certainly.
Yeah.
It's not as good as I remember it. Like I'm having a little bit of a different experience than you because I have read this before.
Yeah, you've read this before,
and it's not holding up great. And I'm seeing the TV in it now. In a way that I didn't then.
Right.
Which is odd. There's also some strange choices, like Wonder Woman in this can like
read minds.
Well, no, she can like telepathically persuade people to do things.
Yeah,
she has this like force thing where she can tell soldiers to do things and they just listen to her.
Yeah,
but speaking to them telepathically and they respond telepathically.
Right.
And the most curious thing about that is when she says, "I'm a soldier and I can always." like read and understand soldiers.
Yeah,
And
that's
so it seemed like her telepathic power thing was only with
the soldiers.
Yeah, that was very strange.
Was weird. Yeah.
There was another bizarre thing I wanted to point out, and I'm trying to find it because I can't remember what it was now. We read so much stuff in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But yes, I thought that whole Jedi mind trick scene was bizarre.
Yeah. And, like, as far as I know, that didn't pop up. At least it didn't pop up in Azarella's Wonder Woman. I don't think it popped up there.
It's like he's just giving him powers.
Yeah,
giving her powers.
It's like, sure, why not? We need something.
Oh, I didn't like the non-linear thing with this either.
Oh, yeah. With where they're popping back and forth, too. Yeah. Hey, remember when Clark was cranky?
Yeah, I didn't love the format of that.
Right.
But anyway.
I mean, overall, it seems like a book that is a good once read.
Yeah.
Like,
it's real throwaway.
Yeah, it's because it seems like reading it a second time, sort of, you start seeing the cracks a little bit more.
My worry is I'm going to go back to this and go, no, this romance was never a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I really liked it at the time, and I'm afraid they're going to turn me. They're going to turn me on it. But an interesting blast from the past. I will have to finally finish the series at some point, and maybe I'll talk about it when I do that.
Right.
Chris, let's go ahead and shake the phone.
All right.
Are you ready to do it?
I'm ready.
I still haven't put together the thing where I'm going to let the audience help us pick this, but we will do that at some point. I keep forgetting about it.
So, all right.
Let's see what he ended up with.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
We got to trade paper.
Oh, we're not going to do trades on this. We're not going to trades on this. So go ahead and shake the... And we've actually reviewed it, EarthX, before, Austin and I.
Yeah. Oh, another Batman Legends of the Dark Knight.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We did do one of these. And this is the first part of something, so that's nice.
That'll be nice, too, yeah.
This is 69, and this starts a story arc called Criminals.
I mean, they are super terribly lot.
That sounds very generic for Batman.
Batman versus crime.
Hey, the crime doctor? No.
Just crime.
Just crime.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. So this is the issue that we'll be talking about next time and showing you the cover of for Cover of the Week. Legend of the Dark Knight 69, Criminals. There he is in front of a big metal beam of some kind.
Industry.
Industry. That's not a bad cover.
No, I mean, I like the cover. I like the big purple, mechanics behind him. Kind of makes Batman pop there.
Yeah, it's good. You're finding us a lot of Batman.
I know,
it's funny that even Cover of the Week is more interested in DC than Marvel.
I think so, yeah.
Like we're not doing that on purpose. I'm not loading up the app with just DC.
Yeah.
Like I could set it up to do that. I'm not, just so everybody knows.
We said no to EarthX. We had a Marvel on the table, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I mentioned before that trades are in there, but we're not doing those.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that we need to do besides the review for tonight? I think
I do have.
I'm sorry, you brought something.
I did. And I'll talk about this real quickly.
I didn't mean to step on you with that.
No, you're good. This is another crowdfunding thing. This is Sky Masters of the Space Force.
You always bring stuff I've never heard of.
Look, I'm not saying I'm trying to do that on purpose, but...
Is this a recent buy? Or are you now just starting to go into your back catalog and just random stuff you have?
Look, a little bit of Table A, Table B there, but...
Oh, sorry, can I stop you for a second? Just because you haven't gotten into this yet?
Yeah.
So, John Ty just put in a $10 Super Chat, so he is winning the Super Chats tonight. And John, if nobody else comes in and goes over $10, you'll get to pick what we do for next week. He says after our last week's conversation, or next week.
Yeah, actually,
in 3 weeks, actually.
3 weeks down the way, yeah.
I hope you can come for one or two of our horror movies.
I would love to, yeah. That's
After our last week's conversation about Superman can be the social crusader again, I recommended you guys read Superman Smashes the Klan. It's a great Superman story that deals with racism.
I've read
Smash
the
Klan. We'll have to do a...
That is legitimately one of my favorite Super...
Is it really? I've heard great things about it.
It's like...
Well, how recent is that?
Within the last couple of years, I think.
Oh, I thought it was older than that. If it's in the last 4 years, we'll do it on this show.
I was going to say, if it's...
I'll look that up. I thought that was
Yeah.
older than that.
Well, considering
I was going to say it would have to be a vault, but
Yeah.
as long as it's recent, we can do it on the
if
show.
it's me saying like, yeah, it's the last couple of years, that means anywhere from
Dude,
like
you've said that,
Yeah.
and it was like 2013.
yeah,
okay?
exactly. So take what I say with a grain of salt. But no, like Superman Smash the Clan is fantastic, and
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, it's funny too because like it's very much like 1940s Superman, and it really plays into
Give me a year. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little older than what we usually do on the show. It starts in 19.
yeah,
It goes from 19 to 20. But I'll allow it.
yeah.
I'll allow it. It's recent enough. It's at least within when I got out of current.
Yeah. So,
But I mean, it starts pre-COVID.
oh wow, yeah.
And people will, and also that's a title people will be excited about us talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
So if I put that, I mean, you'll change my mind a little bit if it's a thing that I can put in a title and people are more likely to click on.
Exactly.
That does help a bit.
For the
But yes, we'll do that for you, John Type.
right, yeah. So,
But it'll be 3 weeks because we got Spooky Mania coming
spooky
up.
stuff, yeah, come out. So I brought Sky Masters and the Space Force.
Look at that! Look at that format. Look
So-
how massive that is.
Basically, what this is more or less Lost Kirby.
Wow.
This was Kirby, Wally Wood, David Wood, who I think was writing Challengers of the Unknown at the time. This was a newspaper strip that, if I know the story right, they pitched to DC, and DC said no, but hey, we'll help you get it into like the newspapers or something like that. And then there's like all sorts of legal problems. Basically, it led to Kirby just getting fed up with DC and be like, "All right, no, I'm going back to Atlas at the time." And this ran from like 50. This is from 59 to 60. I want to say it actually ran from like 58 to 60. And then like 61, Kirby did something else. Some couple other things there. But it's interesting because like the artwork is very much like really proto what you think of Kirby like today, and
it's like unrefined. He isn't quite
just not quite
got his style down yet.
Not quite there. Not quite. Not quite FF, but you see getting to that point.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing I do love about this, like it's very much sort of like Cold War space racy era. A lot of obviously it's very like Cold War influenced. The book is called Sky Masters because that's the main character, Sky Masters.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but overall, like it's
like Sky Captain of the World.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, this was this book is all like the Sunday strips, the newspaper strips. I believe they've been colorized too. I'm not sure if when they actually ran syndication if they were full color, but they are here.
It's hard to tell if that's modern coloring or not.
Yeah,
but I don't know if those would have been full color in a. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
because I think they did some full color newspaper strips back then, did they not?
I think so. Yeah, maybe.
I'm not real up on my comic strip history. That is a giant blind spot for me. It's just never been my bag.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's funny too because the Sunday strips were their own.
Hold on. Give me a second here. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I kicked a cord and we lost our audio for a
minute. But like those were a completely separate storyline from like the dailies. So and overall it's kind of it's sort
of like an ongoing continuity with it, or is it just a bunch of random stuff that happens?
It's kind of there's an ongoing continuity. There's a lot of like spy stuff.
They flip those sideways.
Yeah, I think these might be. But yeah, this was actually kind of like reassembled recently because these were pretty much lost just because, I mean, it was right between right between Captain America, right between like Challenge of the Unknown, and like everything else Kirby did for the rest of his career.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
yeah. But this also has like a little bit of the history of the productions and a lot of the legal issues that.
Yeah, that feels like more of a historical artifact kind of thing.
A little bit, yeah.
Than something you necessarily read cover to cover. But,
Exactly.
Like, have you read that whole thing? Or you
I
just
haven't
kinda
read the whole
skimmed
thing.
through
I've
it?
kind of like skimmed through it. I just recently got this. This was also another.
Did you have to order that?
Yeah, I got this for Zoop. Like, this was actually a crowdfunded thing.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say maybe it was something that you kickstarted, but
Yeah, like, it's funny too because, well, I mean, we're not gonna talk about how much money I've sent to Kickstarter too. I just backed something that says like my 99th pledge. Like, I'm Project Cool this for a while. So, but yep, that's my thing.
this is why I love one of the reasons I love having Chris on the show is he always brings us stuff I never would have known about.
Yeah, I try to go for the less obvious stuff. Like
thanks for constantly proving how much better of a comic fan you are than I am, because I'm so mainstream guy. But I'll use that to segue into we're gonna talk tonight about another indie thing that we picked because it looked interesting and we didn't get any super chats last week, so we got to pick it again.
Yeah.
And this is not the most mainstream thing you've ever heard of, so I will pat myself on the back for that, Chris.
Yes.
Because this just sounded cool, and I wanted to look at it. So tonight, we're gonna talk about. Hold on, let me pull this up. Falling in love on the path to hell.
To hell.
And this is a Gary Dugan book. I didn't even know he was doing any creator-owned stuff.
Yeah.
Until we looked at this. Hold on, I gotta get this up.
We
the
still
screen.
got more.
Why does he have it in the middle of his chest like that? It's so stupid.
Is there like a plot reason for that? Like,
I'm sure there is,
yeah.
and I forgot about it, or I don't remember what it is because we didn't read that first issue.
Oh yeah.
That's why cover of the week is a pointless endeavor, and I love doing it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the artist here, and the artist quite good is Brown. I don't know what his first name is.
So you're getting Brown.
Oh, Brown and O'Halloran. Yeah, maybe help me out with that because I did not pull up a page with the creators on it. Apparently,
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris, tell us a little bit about the premise of this story. This is 4 issues. They're all oversized.
They're all yeah.
It's like what,
true.
32 pages,
Something like that. Yeah. Like I could have sworn when I was reading the
Did
trade.
I say 4 issues? The trade is 4 issues.
Yeah.
They published 10 so far.
Yeah.
But we just read the first story arc, which is only 4 issues, but it reads a little longer than that. Although this is not a slow read.
No,
Like,
yeah, it goes pretty quickly.
I knocked this out in probably 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, and part of it too is because it's so visual too. So the storyline is 2 people that die, and then
Well, give us our time and setting here.
So,
Chris, this is a period piece.
yeah, it is. Well, we have
I'm gonna teach Chris how to do a synopsis.
yeah. Well, we have the cowboy from the Old West. He's like the bounty hunter. He's sort of like the contract killer, and then we have the samurai who's she's turning in her sword to the shogun, to the emperor it'd be the emperor.
Gary Brown,
Yeah. During one of their sword hunts, they both get in. Things go wrong. The samurai decides to fight. Like, okay, if I attack the emperor, attack his attack his underlings, I'm dead. So I might as well like fight my way out anyway. If I'm dead anyway. McGrath the cowboy is like gets in a gunfight at the old church, the old stone church. They both die. They both end up in what's possibly purgatory. It has all sorts of names. They wash up on a beach, a spooky beach, and
there's clearly supernatural shenanigans stuff going on, but we're not sure if there's any way to get off the island.
Yeah,
they
hint at it too, like
there's a self-proclaimed leader that tries to bring everybody that's stuck on this island together in order to fight the
monster.
creatures that are there.
Yeah.
And he says, you know, if we don't work together, we'll all die. But
Right.
he works as kind of a dictator.
Yeah.
Where like you follow me or you die, and like he sort of has a point, but obviously nobody really likes him and wants to have to follow him because he's kind of just a big jerk that tells everybody what to do, and he's more out for himself. It seems than he is for anybody else. And then and so. At first, you can't tell if he's going to be, like, a longtime ally or if he'll be actually kind of the main antagonist of the book. That's a question early. And then, by the fourth issue, there's this big fascinating twist where McGrath winds up in this kind of like place between life and the afterlife, where he gets this vision of a version of I forget his name, but
like Mohan. Was it Mohan? Or?
Yes, that's his name.
That's his name.
From who has, I guess, crossed over or is from the future or something.
Something, yeah.
Who now has a different name and thinks of himself as an enlightened, different, disconnected now entity, and so. That makes that character suddenly far more complex than he seemed to be in the first place. But as the title suggests, it's a kind of gradual building romance between the cowboy and the samurai girl.
Yeah, like Asumi, I think that was her name, right? Yeah.
And you kind of wonder as you're going just when the romance will start,
right?
Because it's right there in the title, and so
but it's kind of a slow burn.
It is a slow burn, which I ended up liking, and wasn't sure that I would buy any kind of chemistry between these two characters. I couldn't see what they would have in common exactly, and why they would ever get to. I mean, besides the obvious, I mean, they're both really violent characters.
Yes, and the longer it goes on, they do tend to get like the trench buddy dynamic with each other too. Yeah,
like they both seem to be here maybe because of their life transgressions where they kind of deserve it. I mean, like they're not entirely monstrous, but they've obviously, it killed people, whether you think any of it was justified or not.
Issue 1
within the morality of the day. Of course.
Yeah, issue 1 is basically like two separate massacres on either side of the globe, and like whether or not those were like justified or not. I mean, that's again the morality of the era and the situation. But I'm actually just really appreciating the coloring now. Just look at these pages.
At first, I kind of wished it was in black and white.
Yeah.
And then the coloring really grew on me as I went along.
And I think like it being that muted enough does kind of help, does kind of give that a lot of the atmosphere that black and white would do. But just having that little bit of color just makes it off enough. And just adds to that element, like the supernatural element. And I mean, it's funny because go back to like things that were interesting about the book and the supernatural setting. There's a bit at the end where they talk about what happens if you die in purgatory.
Yeah.
And how
they're like, that's the only real escape.
Yes. And they go through and they're saying like, well, you could die of like earth, fire, wind, water, but you just, whatever you do, don't die of fire.
Don't die by fire. Yeah. And apparently, heart is no way to go. You can't die by heart.
Can't die by heart.
Technically,
that's how you got there.
There you go. The other four, or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
The other 4 of the 5 Captain Planet elements are ways that you can die in this purgatory.
Mati, what did you do?
And it seems like you do kind of have that question of if you die there, is that a way to just full-on cross over, or would your soul just dissipate into nothingness? Like, that's kind of a question. But we also don't really know where exactly we are and how exactly the supernatural element works, and I like the mystery of all of that.
Yeah, it's just, like, disconnected enough, and it's just enough of a mystery to make it, like, weird and alien.
Yeah, it reads like real classic, like ancient mythology stuff.
Yeah.
And we even talk about the River Styx and stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely drawing a lot from Greek and Roman mythology, but it's pulling from everywhere.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun that it's blending, and it's not straight up Greek mythology, but it's blending kind of a Greek mythology, sort of affect.
Yeah.
With the classic blend of samurai and cowboys, which we've done in lots of things.
Yeah. Well, it's
but what made this really fresh to me was that third element.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like we're just mashing stuff together to mash stuff together. Here it seems like literally romanticizing that idea, because it's such a romantic idea, where you take from this time period, the 1800s, the Old West from the Western world, and the samurai from the Eastern world, and then you and then you literally marry them.
Yes, you bring.
They're not married, but
you're almost see how this goes.
Literally marrying them. Yeah. And so I think that's cool. Like while your characters have a romance, this is romanticizing. That whole thing.
There's a couple levels of romance here, and it kind of reminds me of, it was like a thing that went around regarding like how Victorian England, the Old West, the Golden Age of piracy, and the Major Restoration, how those all intersected at just like different points. So like theoretically, if you were doing like a role-playing game, you could have like your gentleman, your gentleman thief, your old pirate, your
this does seem like the kind of idea that could have come from a tabletop session.
And it seems something like that too.
I would not be surprised if that were the case.
I mean, look, that's would not be the first one too. But yeah, it's very much like, okay, we've got all these different different ideas, these different influences, and let's put them together. And that are from roughly the same time. Even though towards the end, when they show the beach and they show like bodies that wash up, you see like Vikings, you see,
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so I mean, you see folks that aren't necessarily from that exact time.
When you can see the curtain opening up, where we could have a cool eclectic cast of characters that all show up in this purgatory. Maybe we'll meet some other allies and enemies that'll get kind of interesting. Let me talk about reservations for a minute. This book did not grab me immediately.
Right.
I feel like on a first read anyway, the first issue reads really clunky. I wish this opened with the actual premise of the book. I was not sucked in reading pages and pages of backstory about these characters before we finally get to the purgatory. That for me was a mistake. And if I had started this with issue 2, or with the last 10 pages of issue 1, I would have been immediately more intrigued, because I think the premise right away is a better hook than either of these characters on their own. And I also feel like, as relatively complex as their backstories are, there's no reason that we couldn't get those things sprinkled in with the lots of downtime that we have in the purgatory. We have this big march up through the Twins, the big scary mountains. At the point where, like, there's plenty of opportunity for the Western guy to McGrath to explain some things about his background to maybe the dictator guy. And at the point where spoilers with this, I was trying to do these non-spoiler, and it's really hard not to talk about them. So we've given you some information about what this book is like, which should help you decide whether or not you want to read it. We'll get into a little bit of spoiler stuff. But for a long time, we don't think that she speaks English.
Yeah.
And then we do that kind of typical chestnut of she just chose not to.
Yeah.
And then we're really selective about how well she speaks it. And she says she only knows a little English, but Dugan's gonna let her understand or not understand kind of arbitrarily whatever he wants to. I'm not always the biggest fan of that that trope.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of stereotypically handled.
Yeah.
But it's okay. But the thing is, at the point where we know that she speaks English, that would be a place for them to have some conversation and for us to learn some of that backstory.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been cool to have a little bit of a mystery for the reader about what they did that landed them here.
Yeah.
And we could keep getting clues. Like, I don't want to be too disconnected, I always say this, from my protagonist.
Right.
And, like, not in their heads where they're hiding stuff from me, but that all of the narration in this is third person.
Yeah.
Which means, and not even limited. We're not getting in their heads really through the narration, only through their dialogue.
Yeah.
It's much more cinematic in that way. And I think the narration is pretty overwritten, and I don't need a lot of it. And that bogs it down for me, particularly in the first issue. And so that's the thing I will complain about.
Right.
But like, I didn't like the presentation with this as much as I liked the premise and the story. Like, the storytelling is really good.
Yeah.
The content is great.
Yes.
Overall.
Yes, yeah.
Some of the structure I would change.
Yeah, the one thing
and some of the presentation I would change.
I was gonna say the one thing too about this, it feels like, I mean, has this ended? Do we know if it's ended or not? If it's still going?
No, it's still going.
It's still going.
Like I said, they're on issue 10 that just came out.
I wasn't sure if there was just 10 issues, but it feels like they know they have time, so they're going to use their time, and that's like the one thing too where it feels like through 4 issues you just got to like the incitingness of your plot. You got to actually now the plot can begin, and
I'll be a little more charitable for it than that. I like the slow burn.
Yeah,
once we get on the island,
right?
But I wanted to start on the island.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, there's also merits to taking your time,
and I never want to totally rewrite a story.
Yes.
And I'm not with this, but I do feel like there's more effective ways to format this.
Yes.
You've got your... It also... Sorry, I just had this thought.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that we read Void Rivals not too long ago.
Yes.
Which is another unlikely romance like this.
Yeah.
That opens with, you just drop these two people there, and we have to learn about them as they learn about each other. That's what this should be.
You drop them there quite literally, too, in Void Rivals. Yeah.
Yes. So, I think the way... If I were doing this, the way I would structure it is...
Right.
Issue 1 is basically the last 10 pages of this issue 1 and most of issue 2.
Yeah.
Issue 2 would be more from one of their perspectives and sprinkle in backstory. Issue 3, pick the other one, sprinkle in backstory.
Yeah.
And then issue 4, they finally... I have that moment where they make out and start becoming a romantic couple. That's kind of the clear, you know, easy way to format it.
Right. And I guess I will say too that I read this in trade.
I remembered so little about the backstory we were given from them.
Yeah.
That when it finally starts coming up again, I was like, I feel like I'm learning it for the first time because I didn't remember any of it.
Yeah. I will say too that I think this is
that felt like going to class that first
issue.
Exactly. I hate that feeling.
Get your syllabus here for
the content with this is great. Ultimately, it really won me over.
Yeah, no.
But I'm complaining hard about that first issue.
Right. And I will say, like, I think reading, I read it in trade. I think that helped. I think having, if you're gonna do the slow burn, having that whole story just in like one go, definitely was probably a different experience if you just read it in singles.
Yeah, but I mean, I read it all together. I don't really know what you're talking about. Like, it's not like I read this month to month.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But
Like,
still,
I read it
yeah.
the same way you read it. Like, I read it all today.
I mean, fair, you know, but still, that had like one little page between them. I was still swiping continuously.
I mean, I'm with you that it maybe reads better in trade than it does month to month, I guess.
I think just even kind of reading it in like one sitting.
Let me put it to you like this. If I bought that first issue, I don't know if I would have kept going with it.
Right.
If I bought the second issue first, I would have.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
And that not to fight you, but as far as trade reading goes, if I read the first chapter of a thing and it's not hooking me, I don't read the rest of the trade necessarily.
I guess that's fair. Yeah. But yeah, I think again, like I guess we might be making it sound a little harsher than we really mean to, just because I think it does work as a slow burn. And I think just because there are some parts where...
I don't. I'm literally just complaining about how that backstory is given to us at the start.
Yeah, exactly. So
if you just drop me on this island, I'm good.
Yeah.
And like I liked everything after that.
Yeah.
But I also would drop a bunch of narration boxes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little.
Those
bit
are my two big complaints.
Yeah.
Everything else is working great.
I think
and some of it feels like it's reveling a little more in the violence than it needs to.
Yeah.
And that's a taste issue, and that's probably just a me thing.
Right.
But I was put off a little bit, like the sheer amount of beheadings at the start.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
I'm not sure if I'm won over on just how over the top violent this is.
Right.
Does it need to be this insane at the start? Like
Yeah.
I don't know, but some of that's maybe just the genre of like we're doing the
samurai. You need to have
thing.
The Kill Bill like blood fountains too.
Yeah, so people are gonna eat that up.
Yeah.
I didn't need that.
Right.
That's just a me thing.
So,
but
yeah, like it's not a bad book, but
no, we're not being hard on it.
Right? No,
I'm
exactly.
being hard on things about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you probably like this more than I did.
Well, you know, I think it could have used like a little bit of like, it could have used like a little bit more like some edits here and there. And overall, I think it was good. It just, you know, there's some bits you could probably trim a little bit.
I think it's really good. I just don't think it hooked me right.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I'm complaining about.
Yeah, exactly. So...
I was shocked by how much I was enjoying it by issue 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't you lead with this?
Right.
Not to keep harping on it, but a lot of good panel layouts. A lot of good varied panel layouts.
Yeah. And especially when you get to the actual Mohan, the... who's like, his name is Patel.
Patel,
yeah.
This also reads like a thing that wants to be optioned.
Yes.
And I mean, you could say that about any of this creator-owned stuff.
Yeah.
This one especially, I don't know why, it just feels like it wants to be a Netflix show or something.
Yeah, and like even reading this, like you can sort of picture what like a film version, like a live action version of The Beach would look like in your head. That's the one thing I've
absolutely.
That you get that more than like a lot of comics. You can see like you see the panels on the page, you see the art, and you immediately see like what it would look like in flesh.
What are all of the creator-owned things that we've reviewed so far? It's kind of cool how much of this we've done already.
Yeah.
Because people were asking for almost nothing but Absolute at the start.
Yeah.
And then we finally got to get into some of this stuff. So we did Geiger. And we did Void Rivals.
I mean, that's
and now we've done this. And we did.
What was after Void Rivals?
Radiant Black.
Yeah.
Are those the 4, or have there been anything else?
I'm trying to think, because
we did a bunch of all the absolutes,
and we did Spider-Man.
No, not wait. What Spider-Man? Oh yes,
Spider-Man.
Yes, Paul. The Paul show.
The Paul, yeah.
and we did Ultimate Avengers.
Ultimate Avengers, yeah. So,
or no, I'm sorry, the Ultimates.
The Ultimates, yeah.
New Ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't.
But I guess what I was going to ask you is just of the 4 creator-owned that we like what would be your ranking of the 4? We've done enough of these now. I thought it might be interesting to just tell people what we think are the best of these.
I have to think about this too, because like the 4 that we've read have all been solid in different ways.
I think it's just those 4.
Yeah. Because, like, Geiger surprised me with how much I actually ended up enjoying it. And
Geiger's still definitely at the top for me.
Yeah.
I ended up, and you even commented when we reviewed it, I probably liked it more than you did.
Yeah.
I adored that.
Yeah, but it was still good. It was still, like, kind of a pleasant surprise. Void Rivals is up there, too. Like, I'm not sure if that's my, like, number one, or if that's, this I would probably... This and, like, Radiant Black might be tied for, you know, like...
I think where I'm at right now is Geiger's at the top, and then it's probably Void Rivals.
Yeah.
And then it's probably this, and Radiant Black is at the bottom.
Yeah. I mean...
Because what's so funny about that is Radiant Black, as far as like concept and genre goes...
Yeah.
Is much more in my wheelhouse than any of these things.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the writing is the weakest of all of this. If I'm ranking this purely on the what am I trying to say? The merits of the writing, and the visual storytelling,
right?
I think that's the order.
Yeah, and that's of course not to say that Radiant Black was bad. I mean, because it was good.
No, it's just we actually did 4 really solid, like you said, create our own thing. We haven't done any bad create our own so far.
And that's the thing too. Like I think,
and I'll even go as far as to go as far as to say that all 4 of these are things I would keep reading.
Yeah,
and probably plan to. And even though Radiant Black is at the bottom, it's probably the one that I'm most thinking about continuing with pretty soon.
Yeah.
Just because it's more my thing than any of this.
And
but as far as what I think are the best of the strengths and the merits, it's actually at the bottom.
Yeah.
But it's the one I would be more likely to keep reading.
Well, the thing with like Radiant Black too is I got the impression that we were just getting to like I don't want to say we're just getting to the good stuff, but there were a lot more interesting things that...
Well, we just introduced those other team members.
Yeah.
And so you're like, I gotta figure out who these people are.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean...
And Geiger, even though it was my favorite, I do want to read the monthly.
Yeah.
But it's a really good standalone story.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, for sure.
If they never made any more, I wouldn't be all that heartbroken.
Yeah. Geiger, like, more than a lot of the other stuff, is the one that stands out.
It started as just a miniseries.
Yeah, exactly. And I think is, like, the best just as far as self-contained stories go. Where like this and Radiant Black and
even Void Rivals were not remotely done.
Yeah, with Void Rivals, I think is probably the one that holds together like as a standalone the most.
But it's still in on a cliffhanger.
It's still in on a cliffhanger, yeah.
Aren't we still in the middle of like a big chase at the end of that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But like at least this and Radiant Black, I feel like. We're just getting
started.
We're just getting started, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that, like, there's so much that we've gotten a taste of what the world is, and it can only go up from there. That there's more interesting stuff out there, too, so...
It's cool how different all those books are, though, and how much variety there is. But it's funny that this and Radiant Black are probably... Or, not Radiant Black, sorry. This and Void Rivals are... the most related ideas just because it's unlikely couple that start on opposite sides that could have murdered each other. Now with Void Rivals, that was they were supposed to do that.
Yes.
They were expected culturally to kill each other.
Right.
That's what makes that an interesting romance in the first place.
Yeah.
And or what might become a romance. I guess it starts more as a potentially building friendship. I kept assuming it would be a romance. And then the romance is in the title. It has to be.
Yes. But again, too, like they're taking their time with it. They're setting they're putting the pieces in order, and I think again, like the slow burn does work, and I think when we get to whatever the next story arc is going to be, whatever the next issue or volume is going to be. I think it can only get better just from exploring the world and exploring the characters. So I mean, it's funny because I know we harp on the big two a lot, but on the other hand, I think we're seeing like a lot of really interesting stuff happening in the create your own spaces too.
Well, I mean, Image, and this has been true forever.
Yeah,
but especially lately, Image is where the most like original, honest to God graphic storytelling is going on of every conceivable genre.
Right.
And the reason we harp on the big two is because that's the stuff that makes us fall in love with comics in the first place. So you want it to be good, even though it's mostly a bunch of characters that have been arguably played out, and it feels like we've told every story we can tell about them. And sometimes writers will surprise us with ideas that we never imagined with those, particularly with Batman. I keep thinking we have to be out of Batman stories. And then something like White Knight comes along, and you go, okay, I guess there's other ways.
Well, even like Dark Patterns, which is
Dark Patterns. Which is even more ways to do this.
Yeah, which is even like on the surface such like a back to basics, but still has a lot of fresh ideas and interesting twists and stuff.
But I'm just saying, we love those characters in those worlds so much that there's a status quo that we hope will stay around forever. Which is, and I don't mean story status quo, I mean publishing status quo, which is DC and Marvel stay the course, and everything around it. And not to say that I don't want to see those things ever innovate. But everything around it proves all the other kinds of stories and genres in cool ways you can tell stories in this medium.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you want the superhero stuff to continue and to be good. That's the thing that anchors the industry. And makes you stay in touch with your love with it, and frankly your childhood. Where it's like, at least some good things never change.
Right.
Unfortunately, they do.
I mean, that's true. But at least when they do, you want it to be in a way that's true to the characters and, true to what, like, the guiding principle behind them. And you want them to be true to just, I don't want to say what you expect, but you just want it to be, you want it to be Batman. And you want to see Batman do things, you want to see Batman do cool things, but you still want it to be at the core Batman. The Batman who, like, you fell in love with as a character, and whatever that core of that character is, you want that to be respected and honored.
Yeah, well, and I'm trying to think of a good example. Anything that lasts 80, 90 years, you kind of don't want to see ever end. Like, some things have a clear expiration date. Anything that lasts that long, you kind of want to see just how long you can play it out.
Exactly.
Like, once your company or your character or whatever has endured for that long, it starts to feel like classic, like, American-made companies that we've had forever. It's like, whatever it is since 1938. Like Superman, Batman, they become like Aunt Jemima. You don't want to see that ever go away.
Exactly.
Like, just American staple that should always be there. You know, like, you should always be able to get exactly that syrup, but it should always taste like
exactly.
that. And that's not a.
You don't want new Coke.
No, and that's not a perfect allegory, because you do want Batman and Superman to grow and change in certain ways.
And
in other ways you don't. And as far as, like, the syrup goes, that should just stay the same as it always has. So that's not a perfect example.
Right, but I mean, there's ways that the characters can adapt with the times, but still stay, like, Superman. Like, I mean, somebody said
it's just gotta be true to the spirit.
True to the spirit, And I know, like, people have said before how Superman's a character that's real easy to overthink. And usually if you just make him nice, you're on the right path. It's like, Superman, do a good thing.
Except once he's nice to the point that he doesn't like competition.
I don't totally
know how I feel about that. Anyway,
it's funny. We were just talking about action, the New 2 action. There was that part where he was playing, like, GTA with Jimmy Olsen and refusing to, like, run over pedestrians, like, obeying all the traffic laws.
But, like, that I like.
That's good, So there's ways to do that where it works. So
all I'm saying is, let's say Superman loses his powers. Like, you'd always have to start with that. But let's say Superman loses his powers, and then he goes and plays racquetball with Jimmy Olsen. Does he want to lose?
Right. That's, you know what?
Or
DC, hear our pitch. Racquetball.
That's not my pitch. Austin says...
Racquetball. Sorry.
Void Rivals has... That's amazing. That's me stuck in my head now. Void Rivals hasn't become a full romance yet, but I also still refer to it as one because it feels like it will be one.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see just how far they ride that out.
Right.
Issue 33.
Issue 30. Will they, won't they?
Yeah. Nicholas Bodo Geiger has gained quite a following to the point where there have been talks of a TV adaptation. I feel like that's inevitable.
Yeah.
That of the four of these is the one that most feels like it has to have an adaptation at some point.
I've heard that like he's been working with Netflix, and I've heard that his imprint, he's been kind of trying to work out a deal like Miller has with Netflix, or Millar has with Netflix.
We should probably read Ghost Machine at some point.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Since that's the name of the imprint.
Yeah,
people,
exactly.
And I've heard people say it's even better than Geiger.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about that.
Right.
John Ty Superman is a character that's pretty simple. He's just 3 panels in Action Comics #1 where he fights the wife beater.
I mean, yeah, look, that's the...
Sure.
Well, you know, those old, like, 30s comics, Superman would just, like, go to your house and beat the crap out of you if you sucked.
Okay, I'm about to fall asleep, so we're gonna get going. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. So, John Ty won the super chat tonight. Thanks, top super chatter. Thanks for the support. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with us. So, when we bring the show back in a couple of weeks, we won't have, unfortunately, because some people get upset with me when I don't do this every week. But we won't be talking about new comics the next 2 weeks in a row. So we'll have a ton of stuff to deal with. When we come back, but we're gonna. Like I said earlier, slash the whole regular schedule for 2 weeks and do horror and Halloween movies. So that'd be a lot of fun. It'll be both a break for me and work all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
the best of both worlds.
That'll be fun. We had a really good time with that earlier in the year with DCEU Mania, and this will have some better movies in it. Which is nice, and I'll get to be introduced to some things with it as well. So come back and hang out with us with that, and then when we bring the show back at the beginning of next month, we'll apparently be doing Superman Smashes the Klan. Smash it.
Again, I will vouch for. Legitimately one of my favorite Superman stories like ever.
Oh, well, this will be the first time we're bringing in a thing that you've read.
Actually, yeah. So
that'll be interesting. Because everything else I've been sampling. That
probably
I've
like
not
the
read.
first thing I have like a physical copy of too, because I've been reading a lot of these digitally. So,
all right. Well, thanks again, and Chris, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm glad you were able to write it out. I'm glad you made
this. I made
it. I appreciate you guys. I was Captain Logan. This was Chris. We had Austin earlier.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys real soon. Bye, folks.
Right.